Another week, another Centre Circle. Before we get into it, please remember to subscribe, follow, whatever platform it is you're taking in this content. Thanks again for the listening. We've been getting lots of support and positive feedback and lots of interaction in the comments. So let us know what you think in the comments, especially when Keith speaks.
Face to the pod, yeah?
So yeah, as usual, I'm John.
I'm Isaac.
T. And like Keith.
And yeah, let's go. Let's just start where we all want to start. Liverpool, Arsenal. No, I'm all a week behind.
You trying to erase Sunday already, bro?
Where's going?
Arsenal, West Ham.
Breathe.
Yeah.
I know it's all going.
And you know what? That's the second time I've done it. I spoke to someone yesterday. I was like, "Oh, that Liverpool game." They looked at me like, "Are you okay?"
The title
Tap on the shoulder, like, "You're right." So look,
Same thing happened. Isn't it?
Yeah, well, for those that haven't seen the game, I don't know where you've been. Yeah, Arsenal go 2-0 up relatively quickly. It looks like another slice and dice from incisive Arsenal team. The much celebrated Thomas Partey, he makes a bit of a lackadaisical move in the midfield, tries to flick the ball past Declan Rice, and then 20 seconds later we have a penalty. They have a penalty. West Ham have a penalty. They score, and in my mind, watching that game, that moment, and I know people hate putting entire shifts in mentality on one moment. But I do feel watching that game, that moment there, there's that sequence of events, everything just seemed to go downhill from there. Not immediately, but it started. Do you see what I mean? It just started from there. And we've been called bottlers, you've melted 2 weeks in a row, etc., etc. First things first, I don't think it was handball. Let's clear that. I think it hit him in the stomach. Some Arsenal fans are still telling me now in WhatsApp it was handball. I don't think it was handball. However, the penalty, he was on his way down before Gabriel got anywhere. He left his leg there. What, am I clutching? Talk to me, please.
I'll let you go. I'll let you go because you're an Arsenal fan. I'll let you go.
I felt like you
was gonna go. I was gonna just build on where John took us.
Do your thing.
I think that was a good summarization of it, but I think we need to set the scene here. I think we need to actually really give it the due build up that it deserves. Coming into this weekend, 8 games to go.
Yeah.
And like.
You've
got a comfortable cushion over Man City, who have
comfortable subjective.
I mean, you could have afforded to lose to them. You could have afforded to lose to them.
Okay,
mathematically.
Yeah. Let's do that. Mathematically afforded.
They've kicked into gear, as Keith warned you about many times. You have to go to London Stadium and leave with 3 points.
Agreed.
And in typical Arsenal fashion...
No, don't say it's typical.
Yeah, I think that's harsh. You can't say typical.
Yeah,
You're
trying.
I'm letting him cook. I'm letting him go. I'm letting him go.
Let me cook. Okay. It's a little harsh because usually in typical Arsenal fashion, they would have bottled it by February.
Oh, okay. I see where he's going.
So we'll do that.
We're in April,
okay.
So they've extended it. Okay. So, maybe not typical Arsenal fashion.
Right. Missed a week and this is what he's coming back with. All right,
I'm ready. I'm energized. I'm good to go. And you off the back of last week, you don't bounce back. You have a 2-0 lead. And like you say, something happens, much like the last game where the whole Xhaka Trent incident happened. You've now crumbled. And that now brings me to my point of, do you lot have the experience or the know-how or the right manager to manage these situations? Like what's happening?
Wait.
How are you going? How is it back-to-back capitulations?
Can I get him?
Well, wait, let's do the incident. That's why I wanted to go through the incidents, because I think it's important.
Round one.
The sequence of stuff, the way it happened. Before we get to the macro, can we manage these games? That's why I wanted to go through the sequence, because there was that penalty.
I just wanted to give it a bit of aura, that's all.
And then there was now the second sequence of events where Saka missed the penalty, then they score 1 minute later.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
That's why I wanted to go through that. Go on, T.
Right, so... Mate, this is getting harder.
But I told you.
No,
You know what?
listen.
You know what? I was gonna say, like, T's been the most ardent Arsenal fan throughout the
I
whole
agree.
season,
No, it's true.
and this is the first time I've seen you.
No,
I'll
Not
give you
even
your due.
dejected,
We're
but
coming.
he's just a bit.
No,
he
no,
doesn't know what to say.
Okay, watch
so I'm a bit
this.
shocked.
I'll give you your due because from
Watch this.
October, T's been like, we're gonna do it, we're on it. Even a couple of weeks ago, I said I don't like it, etc. And T was like, "Nah, man, I like it. Let it go to the wire. I like it."
Yeah, because what are we here for?
No, I'm here for
What do we-
certainty.
Nah, man. Not after 8th and 5th.
Mm.
Nah.
No, but
I
know
want to
what you
be
mean.
I want to be in it, and we're in it. So
Chest.
with the Liverpool one, I looked at it after the fact and I thought, you know what? Away, Anfield, saw how the game was going. Cool. Point. I'm calm. We're still in the driver's seat.
Mm.
Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
West Ham, we had to get 3 points.
Yeah,
Saka penalty.
yeah.
You can look at so many things, innit? I think it was just how we played deserved being that. 2-2. First 10 minutes blew them out the water.
Mm.
Then it just all kind of just wasn't the same after that. It's like we just sat back a bit, didn't kill them off,
Yeah.
and then whatever happened. But that is probably the first time I've seen Arsenal play so bad. Individual performances so bad. Partey, you haven't not a bad word to say about him
Mm.
for the season.
Mm.
Best DM this season, in my opinion. I just think I'm not saying we're crumbling.
But what do you say to the game management point though? So between the players and the manager, there's an element that people are saying is one of two things, right? It's poor game management coming from a bit of. So I was saying we were crumbling, but other people are saying actually it's slightly arrogance because the players didn't see worried enough. They thought, we're gonna score. This is gonna be okay. And actually, the clock went down, and as you say, poor performances. I'm seeing Odegaard misplaced passes. I haven't seen that in ages.
This is
What
what I'm
I
saying.
found, what I found confusing, well, not confusing, just I'm a bit surprised at is that take like the Villa game and the game against Bournemouth,
Yeah.
where you guys were kind of under the cosh in terms of teams have taken the lead against you, and you've kind of got to show the fight to get back into the
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
and you done that. Like you went behind, you're like, you know what? Arsenal are going to win this game, or they're going to get something out of this game. It's the fact that, take the Liverpool game aside, the fact that you've gone 2-0 up so early against a team like West Ham, who've kind of been a bit indifferent and struggling, and you just haven't got the
Ruthlessness
to go on
when
and
we're leading
just
to
kill the
to go
game.
3-4.
and that's it. And like
Like how United used to do.
Yeah.
and how Man
Or
City,
like
have-
City are doing now.
Man City have done over the last few years, and it's just weird that you've got the mentality to get back into a game and show the grit and determination, but the mentality to, and especially at this point of the season, to be like, right, we're 2-0 up. Why are we not going to close this game out?
Yeah.
2-0 up in 10 minutes. What going to half time 3-4-0?
Experience, like what you lot were saying as well, though. City, they've been there, they've done it, they got Pep, they know what they're doing. And they're just seasoned in this.
And do you think there's a
38 games?
But Arteta came up under. He was there with Pep and City.
With what
was it,
players?
2 seasons?
With what players?
Top level players. But he was there through the game management. He was there through the seeing games out. So steamrolling teams and then having to have the mental fortitude to then remain competent and not get complacent and see the game out. I feel, to your point about, Odegaard or getting sloppy or arrogant, that's where Arteta then has to step in and shake it up. All right, big man, you've missed a pen. You're not really in the game. Come off.
Yeah.
Put someone that's hungry. Speak to Reece Nelson or whoever, ESR, and just say, listen, you've seen what's happening. I'm dragging him off. This is your opportunity. We've got 7 games left. Show me why I should, start putting you in for these 7 games.
Yeah.
That's where, as a manager, you need to start earning your coin.
No, I agree. And I think overall, I find it difficult to, and everyone knows, like, I'm turning the bus round on Arteta, innit? But I can't sit here and criticize his overall game management when he's had a season like he's had, right? But there's a thing about seasons, right? This is why sport is done in seasons like this, because those things become more and more important as we get to the sharper end of the season. And I think at Liverpool, he did something that I used to criticize him for. He's taking a bit too long. You're looking at the game. I think you could do it earlier. He did it a little bit earlier than he has in the past. I was like, all right, okay, cool. You're doing that. But then the substitutions he made, I don't think were the correct ones. And then again on the weekend, but I actually do think in this West Ham game, I think it's 50-50. I think there were some things Arteta could have done something about, and there's some things he couldn't. Because the areas where he can replace with the right quality, well, he's got Trossard, right? That's the area where you can say, okay, if I switch it up a bit, but even then, as much as I thought Jesus was losing his head a bit, swapping Jesus for Trossard is not a like for like. If you're swapping Martinelli for Trossard or Saka for Trossard, cool. So I don't think he has in all the areas the tools he needs to swap like for like. Whatever he takes off Odegaard, you just see the difference immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why he's reticent to do it.
But at the start of the season, we saw us going in front and controlling games. Start to finish. That's what we was doing. In the middle parts, you saw the comeback games where we might have gone
Got a bit sloppy.
Yeah, we might have gone behind. Blah, blah, blah. You saw the fight, them come back, him making changes, blah, 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 blah. Now we're at the business end and the spotlight is on him. When something don't work, now we're saying, oh, well, his game management. Well, realistically, all season he's got it right.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm not going to criticize his overall game management, but in these two games, his game management is part of the problem, not all of it. Because I do think against West Ham, there's a lot there that he couldn't do about.
Okay.
I think Liverpool was more his
Can
game
you say the
management.
subs that he should have done for the West Ham game?
I think after the Liverpool game, I think he should have probably taken off. I think he should have kept Jesus on for what he brings and at that time. And Trossard coming on should have been for probably Saka. Like, I know he doesn't like taking off Saka. I know we keep Saka on because of his very, very consistent high execution. Even if Saka's played rubbish, something drops him 89th minute. So far this season, he's been the guy to tuck it away.
Sorry, John, on Jesus, has he completed 90 minutes since he's come back from injury?
No.
I don't think he has.
No, he hasn't.
So
I don't think so.
I think that's kind of a game management in terms of
His injury.
his
that's
fitness
fair.
level.
That's fair.
Because like I said last week, he would man of the match, my man of the match against Liverpool.
Yeah.
That's what I
So-
said against Liverpool after he shot.
Yeah.
Come
And
off
he's not a
because
guy that knows
of
how
that.
to throttle his game. He's running around
Yeah.
like
That's why he has to be taken off.
Yeah.
Because
And I
he's
think-
going to run to left back, right back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Wherever.
kind of taken out of Arteta's hands in terms of we've got 8 games left.
Yeah.
I'd rather him play 90 minutes the last 4 games of the season than
But that
like,
goes back to T's point
these
about
4.
what he has to change with. What tools has he got on the bench to change with? And aside from Trossard, who's been a great addition, no disrespect to anyone else, but is there any other areas of the pitch where you feel like you're getting a relatively like quality replacement?
Too many injuries.
That's where we need to get better as a team.
KT and
Yeah.
Zinchenko, I'd say, are like for like.
I think they have opposite. I
No,
think
but I
they
mean,
excel in
but in
opposite
terms
ways.
the levels don't drop as drastically
much.
as
Well,
what
so I
you
think-
say
I think the
Jesus and Nketiah.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
a different level of
Yeah.
intensity.
Yeah, and I
It's a
think
different-
defending wise, it goes up because
But
and attacking wise, it goes down. But West Ham is an attacking, that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
balance. Because
Okay.
even if you go back to Liverpool very quickly, I was with a good friend of mine and he was screaming, "Get Tierney on!" Because at that time, Trent is like he'd eaten a mushroom in Super Mario or something. But he was killing him, and then literally 2 minutes after that, he nutmegged Zinchenko, boom.
Yeah.
And I don't think you nutmeg Tierney like that. Easy for me to say now, but slightly different thing. Sorry, go on.
So, something interesting that I came across over the week is that when you're challenging for the title in this age,
Yeah.
you have to be perfect, right?
Man City around, innit?
You have to be perfect because the levels that Pep and Man City have set,
And Liverpool.
90. No, but even as Liverpool, we had to be perfect for that one season, right? In order to win the title.
Yeah.
Since then, we haven't attained those levels. We haven't attained those levels. Whereas Man City have gone from strength to strength. They've maintained and in some cases, sometimes even outperformed themselves. For Arteta, the reason why I'm maybe a little more critical in terms of his game management is because
He was there.
Number one, he was there, so he knows what to expect. He knows the coup, right? And to T's point, you started strong. You showed a different side in the middle. Your end has to be strong. You cannot afford a dip. These two performances, you can't afford to do that because Man City, to beat Man City, you have to.
Can
I
I
think there's
say-
a technical aspect to it, but T, go on. You first.
Can I
I think there's a technical
say,
aspect there.
to your point just there, that he knows.
Mm.
So he knows what he has to do. He knows what he's up against. But has he got the tools?
Good question.
And he might know I haven't got the tools right now.
Mm.
I haven't got the tools right now.
You
And
might
I'm
not
trying,
have the
in
tools.
every session,
Mm.
I'm trying to build them. I'm trying to do different
To-
things
to
in the
get the
changing
most
room
out of
to
them.
get the most out of these players. But I know, in all honesty, Man City are the serious team. Bro.
Yeah.
But we're here now.
What
So
I would say is, though,
I have to try.
I think if Saliba plays those last two games, I think there might be a different outcome. I think the drop from, like John was just saying in terms of the like-for-like swap, I think the drop from Saliba to Holding is too big,
Yeah,
to be
it's
honest.
I'll give you a great example. One time, Antonio's run down the left channel. Foot race with Holding. He stopped the ball, he's pushed it past him. He's got to the box, and Holding has just done this desperate lunge.
Yeah, he had
I've
to.
got my hands on my head like this. I think it's penalty.
No, he had
Bro,
to. Because he was just about to
Yeah.
go in the box.
Yeah.
So he thought, you know what?
you hold it. Yeah. But Saliba, I don't see him, Antonio doing that to Saliba. Number
No.
one, he's not beating him in a foot race.
Yeah.
And number two, he's positioned himself in a certain way. I'm not gonna lie though, Antonio, I think he's been on the pre-workout and that, bro. He looks like wham.
He's always been like that.
Was it?
Nah, he's always been like that. Since Mitchell days, he's always
Yeah.
been like
He's
that.
So that's
so-
a great point, Kim.
So yeah, I think, I know you're saying like, have you got the tools? I think the issue that Arsenal right now, where Liverpool are at kind of pre-Van Dijk, you've got a reasonably, not even reasonably good, you've got a very good first 11.
Yeah.
When Van Dijk came in, our first 11 levels went up. When your first 11 players are not there, the drop-off, as John mentioned, the drop-off in quality is a bit too big for you to sustain, especially at this part of the season.
Actually,
Like-
let me refine that a little bit. Sorry,
Yeah.
just a little bit. I think I wouldn't even say quality. I think Arteta has worked really hard to get these guys to play the system he wants in a very specific way. So when I look at someone like Tierney, and I won't take credit for this because a friend of mine mentioned it today. When you look at someone like Tierney, he hasn't started that many games in a row, etc. So he could do what he wants on the training ground. So there's certain moments where the pass he makes is probably not the pass Arteta wanted in that moment. It's probably it's a different pass to what Zinchenko would make, etc. So even if your quality is the same, when he's playing such a specific system, if you're not playing regularly, or you're not playing 5-6 games in a row, there are points in the game where you make a pass you're not supposed to. You might not be in the right place. So to your point, there are things where it's the system as well. You got to play the system, and I think that's the thing. So quality is good because I actually think we've probably got 12 and a half, 13 and a half players because Vieira, I think, is a good player, but he needs to find himself and get playing the Arteta way.
But good managers have a backup plan. They have a plan B. They can adjust on the fly. Okay, if I take off Ødegaard and bring on Fabio Vieira, he's not Ødegaard, but what can he do? How can I incorporate his strengths in this system? Do I need to now stop allowing Vieira to do free roll like I was allowing Ødegaard and then bring someone else to have a bit more rigidity and then slow the tempo down? Like good managers are able to adjust on the fly.
But that takes time, right? So at the pace that we've been recruiting, I think that takes time. And that was one of my early criticisms of him, of 8th place and the 5th. But it takes time. And I can imagine if they carry on recruiting like this in 2 seasons' time, I can imagine him being like Pep. Like, you don't put any Arsenal players in your fantasy team because you don't know who the hell's going to start.
Yeah.
There's only 4 players that are going to start. You don't even know. I think that's how it's going to be.
I think we got to recognise as well that, granted, Arteta's had his tutelage under Pep, but
he's a different guy.
this is a new experience for him as well. Like you say, he's had 8th, 5th. Now you're in a legitimate title race.
Yeah.
So everyone's saying, he should be doing X, Y, Z. But like the players, this is his first time in that position as well.
And
So
Pepe
you
ain't
can-
there, and this person ain't there, and that person
Yeah,
ain't
so
there.
you can kind of, it's easy for me to say it as a non-Arsenal fan, but you can kind of forgive him for him kind of learning on the job.
Yeah, 100%. No,
So-
100%.
That's why I'm like,
He's been judged by his own standards now, in my opinion.
yeah, because he's had a better season than anyone expected. So everyone just be like, oh well, he's got the formula. Well, no, because like you say, he had a really good start to the season. In the middle of the season, as T mentioned, they had the resilience behind them. Now they've got to try and close out and finish games. It's new for Arteta, so you can't be too harsh on him.
And you can also see where they wanted to fix some of this stuff, right? Some of the attempted signings we tried to make, Caicedo, all these things, you can see some of that. But what I don't want to do is just do Arsenal, innit? West Ham scored 2 goals. They turned up, right? They were fighting for their lives. And that's some of the things as well that isn't in Arteta's control. You have to factor into the balance. And I think we talked about this before. When you're looking at certain fixtures now, this side of the season, you might say, oh, they're going to Southampton or wherever. People are fighting for their lives, you know? And West Ham
have still got quality. They got Rice. They got Paqueta.
Declan Rice, Basmati, bruv.
All right, listen. I was early start of the season. What was the talk?
The fantasy team.
When I kept putting him in the squad.
Oh yeah, keep rubbish you.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't only me.
It was.
No, but I didn't say he wasn't. He's a rubbish player. I said you don't put Declan Rice in your fantasy team. That's a difference.
They might rubbish you as well.
No.
Like,
It wasn't. It was Dane.
Yeah. We just say you don't put a DM in your fantasy team for points.
I would like, man joined in from the sidelines. I did a little.
But the reason why is because at that point in time, everything was going through him.
No, he's a joke.
Literally everything was going through him.
Edu, make that happen, yeah? Caicedo and Declan.
So as an Arsenal fan, T, based on that performance, if you're Arteta, what's your approach for the next few games? You've dropped points in back-to-back games. You now know you can't afford to do that anymore.
Next game's at home, by the way.
What do you mean approach? What do you mean?
What's your thought process? Like, how are you attacking the next game? Are you, going all guns blazing, 3 points is a must, a lot of pressure on, or are you just kind of trying to maintain a level-headed approach to these next set of games? Bearing in mind, City is 2 games away?
No, I'm telling them this is it. Southampton is it.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Southampton is it. If you don't win that game, forget it.
I don't think he needs to change much, to be honest.
No, I don't think he should change anything. I think if one criticism that I can give to Arteta, because you lot say I don't ever criticize him, he shouldn't have played KT like Zinchenko. He shouldn't have told him to do that role. I think he should have just kept him as is.
But then doesn't that disrupt your system? Because it's all like dominoes, right?
No, in a way, yeah.
All right.
But I feel like we had enough on the pitch to do the job against West Ham, and I think KT would have been fine. Left back, I think Xhaka would have been fine. I felt like it would have been okay.
Yeah, I think it was difficult enough that Antonio holding match up. Even if we played our normal Arsenal game, if it was cool. But then with the mistake, with Saka missing, and Saka, he's not leading the team in terms of his vocal, but his performances, etc. I think he can set a tone in the team.
Yeah, everyone raises.
Yeah, so when he missed the penalty, it was bad enough. And so Antonio, I think he grew another 1 or 2 inches, and he just
They all did. They all did.
Go.
Question.
Even Suchek.
Next game is
Question.
Yeah, he's been missing.
Suchek's been on job for the last 2 seasons. Well,
Huh?
he has.
Yeah.
No,
He has.
No, he hasn't still.
No,
last
he has,
2
bro.
seasons.
Yeah.
He had that goal scoring
He was playing
season.
like Prime Fabinho yesterday,
Yeah,
bro.
bruv, he had the season off.
He's been
Last
He's
season.
been one of their better players in the last 2-3
well,
years.
so
Last season, he was nowhere to be seen.
All right, cool. All right. The live score, Liverpool Leeds, is feeding through, but we'll get to that game. All right, let's wrap this up and look at some of the more interesting scores. Spurs. Any more thoughts on Liverpool Arsenal? T, are we winning it?
Yeah.
I like
We're winning it.
you, man.
Listen,
No,
we
I'll
go
speak then.
Southampton, we win. Go to City,
Arsenal, West Ham.
anything can happen. It's one game.
It's still in your hands,
Anything
isn't
can
it?
happen.
Like,
That's what I'm saying. And
Ultimately,
if we come out of there without losing,
Yeah.
anything
Yes,
can
it's
happen.
Fight it.
Yeah.
Swing
Yeah.
blow for blow. Yeah.
That's it,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm in it to win it, mate. We're there.
Well, I'm going to stand on it.
I
We're
respect
putting it on
that.
tape. We're winning the league.
Wow, so
I'm
you're
doing it.
finally standing on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you said it last week as well. Like, not with as much vim, but you were
Nah, we're winning the league still. We're winning the league. They have to.
Okay.
They can't do this if they're not winning, innit?
I hear that.
I don't want to back any of them lot out.
I respect it.
that run of games though.
Newcastle away, that's it.
Brighton
at home. I'm backing.
No,
I'm
you
backing
can't-
my team.
I understand that, but you can't just say Brighton at home.
No,
like it's
I'm
Brighton.
saying Brighton at home. I'm
under-
backing Arsenal.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
Brighton,
really easy, but
Brighton
we're backing.
away. Man City. That's what
You
Man
know what?
City's got.
I don't think that. Like, you're talking like Chris Houghton still managing Brighton.
No,
Like,
no. I
It's a different
see.
Brighton,
I know
you know?
what Brighton's on.
No, he said he's seen Brighton can deal with Man City.
Yeah.
I'm
But
talking about
saying,
you against
I'm
Brighton.
saying we're at home, and I feel like we
If it
can
was
handle
Brighton
that.
away. No, honestly. if it
Either
was-
home or away, I think Man City and yourselves are both
Wait,
not having
let's
easy
be-
time.
look,
I went there. It was 4-2. Arsenal away at Brighton. I was there.
And let's be clear. Let's be clear. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy.
It's-
But out of the two, I'd rather be at home to Brighton.
Yeah.
If this was WhatsApp, I'd be starring hella messages right now.
But it's on tape.
What
I
would
know,
you
what do
rather,
you know?
home or away?
I'm not,
We got them home,
I'm
City
just saying
got them
I
away.
like your confidence.
Your
innit?
terracotta
Like,
third kit move, man.
Don't be a hater.
droopy, bro. Droopy out here. Man.
So Spurs.
All right. So, Tottenham 2, Bournemouth 3. Where do we start? Tottenham's ineptitude or Bournemouth's amazing run of fixtures?
Can I start?
Yeah, go on. I know where you're.
That was so funny, you know. Bruv, I was in my car. Talk Sport was on.
Oh, that must have been.
I got out of my car, yeah. It was 2-2. They just scored. It was like, what, 90th minute or something?
88 they scored.
88.
They equalised.
So I was like, oh, boom, they got a point, and it did. Went into the shop, come back into my car. I didn't hear they scored, whatever. You know, as the thing's going on, whatever. Then someone's talking. They said, yeah, because they just lost 3-2. I was like, what? Bruv.
There's so much
Tottenham.
to unpack in this game.
You know what the mad thing is?
Davinson Sanchez.
I feel sorry for him.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Let's take this step
I
back.
feel sorry for him.
Let's take this.
He
Listen,
didn't deserve
when I
that.
saw my man on the bench shaking his head like, okay, all right. Like, yeah,
All right,
okay.
let's take this step by step. Yeah. So, firstly, Tottenham were at home. Couple of key points here.
He didn't
They've-
deserve that.
They've gone ahead. Son has scored. I think there's an injury to Longley. Davinson Sanchez has come on as a sub. 35th minute. 10 minutes before halftime. Cool. Brighton equalised before halftime. Bournemouth, sorry. All right, 1-1. You get in at halftime, it's fine. You come out the other side. I was going to say something, but it's rude. Dominic Solanke scores. It's 2-1 now. You're like, nah, it's a bit Spursy, but they're at home. It's good. It's all right. Fans start booing. They're basically blaming Sanchez for the 2 goals they conceded.
He was making it a
Subbed off.
fault for one of them though. When he's by the corner flag, I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, but
Who? No. That was what's that guy? Romero.
Was that
That was
Romero?
Romero.
Oh.
Done the flick
Yeah,
round
yeah,
the corner.
yeah.
That was
Bro.
his fault. I
Yeah,
don't care what anyone
for
says.
me, is a big time liability. But Sanchez is then subbed off in the 58th minute. Now, listen, I didn't see the game myself. I saw highlights. But the guy has come on the 35th minute.
I'm not coming to training.
That's 23
You're mugging me off, and you're
What?
not even a
No,
manager.
that's
bro.
23
You're
minutes.
Just mug-
23 minutes
No.
of actual game time between touching the pitch and coming. He can't have been that bad.
You know what? It's not even how bad he was on the day. It's how bad he's been during his career at Spurs. He makes mistakes
Wow.
every single time he comes. I'm not even joking.
I thought he was good
fans,
when he came.
Spurs
I
fans
rated him.
hate him, bro.
Really?
Spurs
you
fans
rated him.
detest
When he first
this
came up
player,
for this
bro.
guy,
Really?
decent.
Yeah, they're not on. They're
not having him.
They're not having him at all.
And if you want to try and play progressive from the back football, we'll have to forget him still. He's not having it.
Wow, that's
He just tackled,
Maybe
header.
I've had my head under a rock because
There was a bit where he had some decent form. Like everything I say about Tottenham, when Poch was there, innit? That's when everything seemed to go well.
Yeah.
But then you hear, let me say his name properly, Stellini. What he
Stellini.
says after, he said, we'll support Davinson. It's almost like he's saying he took him off for his own good. A bit like the Obue situation back in the day. So then I thought, wait, hold on. Did you take him off because you looked at his performance and thought, if these lot keep booing you, it's going to affect you to the point where it's now going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy almost. They're booing you because they think you're rubbish. You start playing rubbish because, you feel like the fans are on your back. Or was he just ruthless and said, big man, get off the pitch now?
I guess we'll never know because you're going to take a player off and when you're in the press conference after, you're going to defend him, right?
No, not
But in the change room, not if you're Mourinho, but not everyone's Mourinho. But in the change room, you're going to tell him, well gone. But to the press, you're going to say, I took him off for his own good. Everyone's booing him, blah, blah, blah. Just make him feel better about himself.
That might be the most brutal sub and a sub I've ever seen. I can't think of one that's worse.
But then can you think of one that wasn't deserved? Because I think it was deserved. Sanchez is like this every single time he comes on. Whether he comes on from the bench or whether he starts.
23 minutes of game time.
Nah, bro. If it's poor, it's poor. You can't just wait till it gets
Bro,
worse.
I would have been
He
happy
played-
that they scored at the end, bro.
Bro, you played half or half.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
I think, do you know what? Just to go to the goal as well. It was a well taken goal, and
2-1.
no, the winner, the game winner. It was a nice counter attack. I honestly thought they would fluff their lines, but the level of composure that they'd shown for the goal, it was just. I think two things there. It was good to see a team like Bournemouth have that level of ability and composure in front of goal, but it was kind of befitting of Spurs and their kind of slump in the season. It was just like, only this could happen to Spurs.
Yeah, I think with Spurs as well, like I know we've kind of gotten to Chelsea, especially me, about what their direction is and where they're going.
Wow.
But with the appointment of Stellini as manager,
To the end of the season, yeah.
like it's kind of the same thing. Like what are you looking to happen or achieve in that time period?
Their one's worse, man.
Yeah, but
Oh no, definitely. And
Because they
it's
could
like,
get top 4.
It's not, and we were talking about free hits last week. I think Stellini had like more of a free hit than Lampard. Like I know they're in the top 4 and they might lose out in Champions League, but he's never managed a team before.
That can't be a free hit, bro.
No, but he's never managed a team
but you're in
before, so
top 4,
you can't say, you expect this of me.
I know what Keith is saying. If
This
he
is
doesn't make top 4, they'll be like, well, he's an assistant anyway, etc.
yeah,
There's a
but
school of thought that the reason why he's still there is because they didn't want to pay off the entire coaching staff in one go.
that's granted.
What,
but
just one
he-
man?
Huh?
Just
No, I
one man?
think
Didn't
the
The
he?
rest of them are still there. It's just Conte that left.
But he hasn't tried to do anything different.
You have to
No, wasn't him
get
and
your
his brother?
P.
He's
Wasn't it him and his brother?
Well,
I'm not sure.
I think effectively most of the team that Conte came with, that's another thing where you employ Conte. There's a team.
Yeah,
It's
he
like,
comes with,
you
well,
know,
most
he comes-
managers.
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
he's playing Conte ball without Conte.
Yeah.
If you got the job to the end of the season on what I perceive as a free hit, do something different in it.
Well, he might
But,
be a Conte
yeah.
disciple. But I think the thing with this game as well, you're at home, you go 1-0 up. The game swings, so you're now 2-1 down, fine. You get an equaliser in the 88th minute, and the game has now changed to the point where actually you've preserved a point, right? Rather than you're trying to win. And then it wasn't even a sloppy goal. The guy, the control, as you say, the composure, then the finish as well in that moment. Tucked. January sided. You know when you're a relegation fighting team, all those pieces are what need to come together. Someone you sign in January to help you out. It's the last minute of a game. Do the basics and have some quality. And all of that just came together in that moment. Bournemouth, Gary O'Neill from caretaker to prime manager.
Doing well.
Mate, wonderful.
Is this a
Chelsea,
turning
have
point?
a look, mate.
Is this a turning point for Bournemouth?
Oh, sorry. Let me
Nope.
turning point in this season.
Yeah.
Mate.
Between now and the end of the season, is this
Yeah.
I think that turning
boost?
point happened a couple games ago, man. They've
You
been on
think
this
so?
run
No,
for
but,
a while.
yeah,
but you mean in terms of being safe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they put themselves in a position now where one more win secures them, but actually they can afford a couple of draws. They've got to a point now where I actually think it's just points accumulation now, where there's some teams they have to win 2 or 3 games.
They were in a slump and they actually come out.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah,
out.
none of us backed them to go down. So
I did.
Oh, did you?
I think so.
Wow,
Okay, so
wow.
beating
They was in the slump. I thought there was it, and then they just come up with.
Bruv, he
6
put them in
points.
there after winning 2 or 3 games on the bounce as well.
You're
That's another
lying.
thing.
Shocking.
Bruv, last week you put them on there, brother. They were winning
Not
2 or 3.
last week.
No,
You
it was
didn't
a
do
few
that
weeks
last
ago.
week.
It was
They
a few weeks ago.
definitely had won.
No.
Definitely had won 2 or 3 games on the bounce, and you
Well,
dashed
look,
them
the
in
last 6, but wow, look at this record. The last 6 Prem games, they've won 4, lost 2.
That's nuts.
And back to our convo about sometimes you're better off just winning some and losing some.
Yep.
Don't
Enjoy
need
it.
the
Get the
draws.
draws. Yeah.
Right? So I have a possible 18 points. They've got 12. That's good form.
You're right.
Very good.
They got West Ham at home next. Bet West Ham go there and lose like idiots. And then they've got Southampton away. 27th.
You can see.
They're
the
calm.
I
points
think
there.
that's 3 points.
Yeah.
They're calm.
I think that's 3 points.
Yeah, but again, you got to factor in at that point. Southampton will have just played Arsenal. So every game Southampton play don't win, they're fighting even more. Someone's getting it soon, but they've got to be. I need to check. When are they mathematically relegated? Because they got 23 points. It's ridiculous.
Are they above Bournemouth above Chelsea yet?
Ooh,
No, they're
question.
3 points behind.
3 points behind.
Oh, no, sorry, 6 points.
What a
Palace are
question.
3 points behind them.
Bournemouth.
No.
It's mad. It's
Chelsea.
Yeah.
a
What a
valid question,
question.
but it's mad.
Mate,
What a
Valid
question.
question, but it's mad.
yeah, Bournemouth Bournemouth are 6 points behind
I
Chelsea.
said, yeah.
6 points behind Chelsea. It's Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are creeping up on Chelsea. For when we have a discussion, we'll come to that in a second. But they're 3 points behind Chelsea, so it's all shaking up. But Southampton 23 points, Leicester 25 points, Forest 27, Everton 27. Goal difference doing the job there. Leeds 29 points now. So we're shaking out a little bit. We're getting a little mid-table. Not no,
Yeah.
but we're getting it's shaking out. We're getting a little mid-table.
I'll say that Bournemouth going there and getting 3 points or a point, it's not even a shock. Like,
What's the Spurs?
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't, yeah,
I think
like right now.
I think he
not
said
sure.
last week that Bournemouth were going to beat them. I think it
But
just said
in the Premiership, obviously anyone can beat anyone. But I generally don't. I'm generally not baffled when anyone beats Spurs.
yeah.
I'm being serious.
No, these days, no, you're
It's not even my
Yeah.
Arsenal hat on. Like Spurs are so Spursy, it's unreal, bro. They can go 2-0 up. Still, obviously Arsenal dropped points in the last couple of weeks, but Spurs are ridiculously poor.
It's almost
bro.
like now it's like Harry Kane will score, but you just don't know what result you get
exactly.
from Spurs.
My gripe is this, right? What is the setup? What is their style of play? Because
Pass to Harry.
I watched that game, the last 35 minutes.
Mm.
And all I saw was Harry Kane picking up the ball off the defenders
Cool.
like he was Modric.
Yeah.
Why are you picking up the ball
That's
so
his
deep?
game. That's his style. He gets the ball there in the quarterback position,
But,
and then launches it
you're
towards
meant
Son.
to be the focal point of the attack.
But that's
But
how they've always played. It's worked for them to a degree, but it's just obviously
No, but Mark, if you notice, when they're playing really bad, he gets deeper and deeper, right?
Deeper
In
and
the good
deeper.
days,
Even
when
for
him-
England.
well, even last season when him and Son were doing SAS, were doing
Yeah.
serious something, he might drop in line with the midfield and then do a madness, but he was
never
I
that
mean,
deep.
playing like DLP. I couldn't believe it.
Their attack, it was like a slap it into Kane, around the corner to either Son or Kulusevski.
Do you think he's going to move back a bit?
I think eventually he will have to because
Well, do a bit of a Rooney.
Like, just be a cam or something.
he's got the
Yeah.
capabilities.
and then Tottenham buy a striker or something.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they'll have someone in front of him, but he's got the capabilities.
I don't
Why
think he's.
not?
I don't think he's got the movement for a cam.
You don't think so?
I don't think he.
No,
has.
I don't think so.
I don't
Like
think he's got the movement for a cam.
he's good at kind of dropping into those pockets every now and again during the game. But to say for 90 minutes or 80 minutes to stay there and that's your role, I don't think so. And I think his body's breaking down a bit because of the amount of work he does and the goals that he scores. Like if you look at your typical number 9 who flourished over the years, so like going back to like Ruud van Nistelrooy, etc. Obviously, Ruud would drop off every now and again, but his main focus was being in the box. Where Harry Kane is so deep for like so much of a game, and it's like, why are you there? Like obviously, it's worked to a degree, but I think for the longevity of your career, I think it can have a negative
gonna
effect
give that-
against him.
Typical
Put it-
political answer. Depends who they put around him. I think it depends who they put around
Well,
him.
that's better than Son and Kulusevski.
No, so if he moves back, depends who else is in it.
Oh, so the
it's all
two
all
centre
the
mids
compo-
next one.
Yeah, it's all the component
I
part.
mean,
But I
put it
take your
this way.
point.
Put it
At
this
top
way.
Premier League level,
Yeah.
can he play Cam? Yeah.
Put it this way: he drops in, the defender doesn't follow him.
No.
So I'm not following you. I'm not falling for that.
Mm.
He turns. You're not expecting him to turn into David Silva or a decent level Cam where he's going to now pick out a pass or he's going to play between
No, but his
the
passing
lines.
is mad though.
I
No,
don't
no,
know.
no.
Yeah, he
His
can.
passing
Yeah, he
is
has
like-
got good
He's
passes.
not
I don't know.
But
I
the
just feel like
consistency of
they're on
it,
a
like-
break or something, and you got Son running in behind. It's not a hard ball to do. It's not like he's KDB
No, it's a
or
hard ball, man. You have to give
Whoa.
Kane
Nah,
credit.
we
man.
need to see.
There's
But
timing. It's
we need to
the
look at
weight
some
of
of
the
his
pass.
assists from last season.
Well, his
He's not a
assists
joke.
are on
He's
point,
not a
bro.
joke when it
He's
comes to
not a
passing.
joke.
I'm saying the passes that he does don't look like they're
They're
crazy.
difficulty.
No,
No,
just-
if
he's just
De
playing
Bruyne
it
did
through
them
and
passes, some of them
there's-
passes,
there's
we'd be
space
praising him
behind.
further, bro. His passes are on point. You can't take that from Kane, bro.
All right, so Spurs, please continue. It's interesting.
So please continue.
Friend of mine, he's full on Spurs family. Like his dad, him, all his life, and he said this is the worst he's ever seen it in terms of how toxic it is there.
Really?
Yeah, he said it's the worst. You can't believe it. It's crazy. Right. City Leicester. Now,
Is there much to talk about?
well, I tell you what.
Bang.
I tell you what. If you watch the last 15 minutes of that game,
No,
it wasn't as routine.
no,
Yeah,
John.
but that's because City
I
are.
think
You can get at City.
Bro, did you watch the game?
Yeah, I watched it.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like
2 decisions at the end. 3
Can I tell you what
decisions
happened? Can I tell you what happened? Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. What happened is what we should have done. 3 goals,
Yeah,
relax.
I agree. No, I agree.
If they score one,
I
have a
agree.
couple of half
I
chances, just calm.
I
We're
agree.
3 up.
But you saw both sides of Leicester. The
Done.
fact that they created those chances, but they made the wrong decision. There's one chance where Iñárritu, I can't remember which one of the City defenders is. He's just chopped him. He's at the shop buying sweets, yeah? And he could have slipped Maddison in. And he's just seen the replay. And just licked it in the crowd.
yeah,
Mm.
but
Like,
he
bro,
don't. It
you
was a very
cannot.
good
You're in
shot.
the bottom 3. You need 11 out of your 10 decisions to be correct.
Yeah, Leicester
You
making
know?
me want to change my relegation prediction.
And what's annoying me about that, because they didn't get punished, they will just fix it. It won't happen again. Next game, you're not getting those chances at the end of the game.
Yeah.
People just watch the video. Oh, it was you. You're not playing.
Mm.
Yeah, so again, to your point, I think that's 10 wins in all competitions now on the bounce. Right? It's just the steamroller is rolling, bruv. And I don't like it. I ain't gonna lie. I don't like it. Brighton, whenever they reschedule your game, please, bruv. Matoma,
Chock-a-block.
Solly,
Hold on.
Danny Welbeck.
Hold on. Keaton Isaac are doing his face here. Like, oh, we told you so. They're going to go on their long run. Let me just correct you for 1 second. Yeah?
Do you want to set the context to this?
In the
Wait,
last,
wait, give the backdrop.
Do you want to
Give the backdrop on
do
the
you set the
conversation you
context
two
to
had.
this? The
the
run.
backdrop is simple. Arsenal going up against City. You lot's PTSD is kicking in. You think City are going to...
What who?
PTSD? I said it right now.
Nah.
You lot's PTSD. Did I say it wrong again?
No. Yeah,
PTSD, yeah, is kicking in. You're thinking City are going to go on these long runs. You've been saying it for the whole season. City are going to go on this run when they just win 10, 15 games in a row.
Mhm.
That hasn't happened yet until now, seemingly, yeah? So,
Not seemingly. They've
Right
won
at
10
the
games
end.
in a
fair
row.
enough, fair
Right
enough.
at the
when it
end.
But
matters.
my
Right
point
when
is,
it matters.
my point is that you've not been saying this for so long, and now you're just being smart because it's
No,
happening. But hear me out. The last couple of seasons,
Mm.
they've only won the last 10 games of the season.
Only.
Bruv, they've only won.
Once.
No, listen. They've only won the last
Once.
10 games of the season once. The other few seasons, they've lost one, drawn a few.
Yeah,
So
to back,
it's possible,
to
bro.
back you, if they win all the games at the end of the season as they need to, they will break the Premier League
Yeah.
consecutive
But
winning
my
rate.
point wasn't they're going to win the last 10 games. I said
They're going
if
to
you
go on a run.
if you go through the seasons, there's been a point where they've won 10 games in a row, whether it be at the start, in the middle.
No, you're changing it now still.
No, I'm not changing it.
You-
This is what I said. I said
You're
Yeah, I was
changing it
there.
to be- you're changing it to be fair still.
there will be a point in the season where City potentially win 10 league games in
You
a row.
said there's a point in the season. Or you said
Okay,
they're
wait,
going
can I
to
ask you
That's what they're-
something?
they're going to.
Can they afford to drop points?
City? No,
Yeah.
because you've got a cushion over them. Like, you've got more points if they win their game in hand.
So they have to break the Premier League consecutive win record
But they set
to
it.
beat us.
It is
So
possible.
They
though,
say
I ain't gonna lie.
it.
There's no
Perfect.
point.
I'm not saying.
It's
I'm
definitely
saying
possible.
Perfection.
perfection, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you said.
They're the City
And I've
standard.
said, and this is what I've been saying. This is what you have to do to beat Arteta. Perfection.
Facts. I like that.
All
I
right.
like that. I response for that. I like that stuff. I like that.
But that only happens if Arsenal don't.
With
So
with
You've
what,
got to be
what did they
perfect for
say?
them to-
Phase 2, phase 2 of Arsenal, or phase 3. That's what we're in. Phase 3, phase
Was
2.
this MCU?
I'm just saying. That's what they say.
Endgame, yeah? Endgame.
All right, so that went as we expected. And the result I wasn't entirely expecting was Wolves Brentford. Wolves 2, Brentford 0.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Brentford have been playing well, and I know their away record isn't great, but generally their away record to top teams hasn't been fantastic.
They paid.
Wolves have
quite
been
crap.
okay, but I thought a score draw.
Wolves have got
Yeah.
good players.
Wolves are good,
They
man.
just can't get it right
Up
for
top.
long periods
Yeah, but
as
no,
well
they're
in the
quite
season.
solid.
Jimenez
well.
ain't firing.
Hold on. There
No,
was a-
Jimenez ain't
There was a
firing.
point where none of their strikers had scored for a year, bro.
Diego
That's
Diego
what-
Costa's just can't. He's got no consistency.
But they won't concede many.
So,
Did you see his goal?
but other than that, but
You see his goal? That's the, no, but you see when you haven't been scoring, that's the goal you need. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, facts.
That is
but
the goal
other
you
than
need.
that, they've got a well-structured
That's my
team.
point. They haven't conceded many.
I
So
thought
you said
I
he's
was
the-
a bit shocked.
surprising.
I
I'm not
thought
really
Brentford would have won that.
I don't
I
think it's
And
a
if you
shocking
look, so
result.
I only saw the highlights of this.
I thought it'd be a draw.
Brentford
to be
had the
honest.
better chances in the game.
Mm.
Wolves took their chances. I was a bit surprised that it looked a bit comfortable.
Are we putting Brentford too high up on the pedestal? Because I don't think that was that much of a shocking.
I don't think we are, considering this is only their second season in the Premiership.
Yeah, they're doing well. Wolves now, since they've turned it around a bit, they're doing all right.
Yeah, I mean,
God, sorry.
I mean, they were having a decent run. As you said that, I've just looked at their last 6 fixtures, so we can move on quickly. See, that's their third loss in a row in the league. Before that, they had 2 draws and a win.
Do you know what it is? Do you know why? Do you know why everyone thinks, Brentford? It's because Tony's firing.
Yeah.
That's true.
Tony's firing, so it
What did I
looks
say?
like
If he
they're on
goes-
form.
Bar
If he
those 3
goes,
results,
Thomas
they
Frank
do well.
starts thinking
I'm
differently.
not gonna lie.
That they might be
Like,
back down.
There you go.
what in the last? They've had 3 wins. They've had 4 wins. Mate, they've had 5 wins since the turn of the year. It's all been draws and losses.
Better than
Yeah,
Chelsea.
I don't know why it's a shocking result. Wolves have been
Because Tony
good
can't
this
stop
season.
scoring, so
But I guess because they're in and around
assumes-
the European places, you kind of think they're doing well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that's just.
But this is a tale of other teams' inconsistency can help. Your mistakes don't have the same consequences as they have had in other seasons
They're not going to get relegated.
because other teams are making.
Yeah, they got their cushion.
making
on their
certain
start.
mistakes.
Tony might have lost his powers anyway now after missing that first penalty in his career.
I know. I hate when records like that go, man.
Yeah, man. I don't necessarily like Tony, but I want him to keep going.
Boy, Roy,
Watch.
Crystal Palace
Roy.
2, Southampton
Roy.
0.
Roy.
Eze moving like the new Tony. I mean, I got a voice note from a good friend of mine out in the States. It's like, this is annoying. After everything you lot said on the pod is true. He's had the easier fixtures now and they're scoring. And I said, I tell you what though, if you watch the game, the eye test, they're playing very differently.
Very
Yeah.
different.
They're playing very differently. Eze wasn't getting that much game time lately. Roy's put him in. He's scoring goals. You know, Eduardo scored. Like, it just seems like Roy has let them off the shackles.
But they played like that against Man United.
One
There's
game.
certain teams that they played a bit more defensively because they had to, because obviously they were hard games. But against Man United,
But it's
I thought they played
consistency, right? That's the issue. They didn't have consistency.
but they weren't
I know
playing
it's
these
only
poor
3
teams.
games, but it's 3 games. Even if I went all the way back to October, they had a few wins sprinkled here and there, but the underlying stats weren't good. They went how long without a shot on target? Roy has definitely come in, and whatever he's done made them feel like they could attack more. He's definitely changed the shape of the midfield as well. You know, he's got 3 in the middle, 2 who are further advanced and 1 holding. He's done little things. 9 points, man. He's changed the whole colour of their.
I've heard. I'm not gonna say who told me,
Oh, obviously not. You know, protect the anonymity and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
but
Sources.
they didn't like Vieira.
See, I was going to ask. That was going to be my question,
I
right?
didn't like. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
feel like there was a lot of number one pressure to play under Vieira, who's obviously well respected, well known within the game, especially within the Premier League,
Mm.
and then furthermore, just like T
They
said,
they didn't like him. I don't know if they liked his methods. I don't know if they enjoyed the training.
Mm.
And on the flip side of things, where we was kind of looking like Roy, like blah blah blah, they actually like Roy.
Yeah.
They do like Roy Hodgson.
Yeah.
So the optics don't look good.
Yeah.
It always
But
laughs
the
and all
reality,
of that.
yeah.
But in reality, when they turn up for training and Roy Hodgson's back and Patrick's gone and they're like, thank God, boom. And then they're doing training again and they're enjoying. Eze's back in the team. Why was he ever out?
Right. So
Do you know what I'm saying? Them sort of things, boom.
they
And
matter.
there was that whole talking about. So what's the gentleman's name? He used to play for QPR, Sean Derry.
Yeah.
That was his number 2. He left abruptly. If you read the reports, there was an article written in the Athletic that was said to be well informed. It said basically after a loss, Derry came in, ripped the team a new one, and Vieira felt like he overstepped his mark and then got rid of him quickly. That wasn't that getting rid of him apparently did not go down well, right? Because people are like, well, hold on, we were losing. He came in, he gave a bit of fire, and obviously we know this much of the story in it. But that was enough for someone to write a full article on it. And there is, I'm going to do a very loose generalization here, but we have seen over time with legends, when they were great players and they managed
translate.
teams, it hasn't always translated.
No, it hasn't.
And I'm not, okay, let me put it this way. I'm not that surprised to hear that. I'll be honest. I don't know him. I've never spoken to him, but he's been at a few teams now. We like the ball he tried to play certain times, yes, but there's a bit of a track record here now, isn't there?
The Man City, the New York City it didn't quite go too well. Then he went to Nice.
Yeah.
But in his first season at Palace, he did show glimpses of what he could do, and you could kind of see he changed the way they were from Roy Hodgson's last tenure at Palace.
Definitely.
But do you think that was a respect thing?
When he first came, they look good.
Yeah, because they did. They weren't always getting the results, but you were like, oh, you can see what they did. Because there was a few games last season where their players would have a few bozo moments. Like I remember against Brighton, they were like comfortably winning the game, and then someone headed it back, and then Brighton went in and scored, etc.
But did Roy have these players? Because they haven't given him a lot of money, but he has been able to inject quite a few people.
I think there's still a few around.
Did he have
most of them?
Did he have Eze?
Yeah, there's it.
Most
Did
of
Roy
them.
have Eze?
I don't think Roy does.
I think so, you know.
He didn't have Elise.
Yeah.
No way,
I'm
man.
sure Eze.
Roy didn't
No
have
way,
Elise
because
before.
when Patrick come in, they were saying like he's inherited a good
No,
young.
I'm sure Eze was there before Vieira, bro.
No, he was.
Possibly you could check.
And Elise.
But the thing is, like, I know people have kind of mocked Roy coming in, etc. But you got to remember, like, Roy's been a manager for longer than some of you man being alive. So it's not like he doesn't know what he do. We can joke, he's 70 odd, etc. But he knows
that man is Inter Milan. Come on.
exactly.
But
He knows football. So,
I understand that, but I think the ridicule comes from why are you bringing in a man who's should be retiring and enjoying his life, the pensioner stage of his life, when there are plenty of young
just
managers out there.
But
Just for now.
He's been there, done that, though, innit?
Just for now.
But I think
Just till the end
as a
of the
Palace
season.
fan,
Yeah.
you're not really looking at
Now they're not.
So that's the
now
thing.
they're not saying that.
not now,
They're
yeah,
all right
but
with it
before
now.
he
But you
came
can't-
in,
yeah.
you want to look forward.
yeah, you can't look too far forward because
Do
you
you know
can't be
what I
like,
mean?
how long can he do this for?
Exactly.
Even if it is doing well.
And also, people change, right? So Roy, after he left Palace, he went to Watford. That didn't go well. People learn, people change, people look at what they could have done differently. And now he's had an opportunity to do some of that, right? He would have seen how some of what Vieira's done, how he's got them playing. It's not through the, it's not too unbelievable. And now he's come in, he's got 9 points. It makes a huge difference.
Mm.
It makes a huge difference.
And he doesn't
to the
seem
table.
like the kind of manager to go in and kind of rip up what was done before. I think he would have gone in there and been like, speak to all the players and been like, what worked well, what didn't, etc. And I think he kind of might have taken that on board.
So according to him, as I was listening to TalkSport this morning, his biggest change was the environment. That's what he labelled it
There
as.
you go.
I mean, that's
it.
ambiguous because that could mean a lot of
Anything,
things.
yeah.
And it could mean nothing.
That could go back to what T said. Maybe they
but-
didn't like Vieira. and the
Yeah,
environment
He
was bad.
just kept saying, all I've done is I've changed the environment.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, man. He knows what he's saying. He
So,
knows what he's saying.
and Simon
Smiles on
Jordan
their
kept,
faces.
Simon Jordan kept trying to bait him into talking, about Vieira, and he wasn't having it. He was just literally saying, "Look, I respect him. He's done his best, but obviously it hasn't worked, and I've come in to just try and steady the ship. And all I've done is just look at the environment, look at the way things are done, put my stamp on it, and it's fortunately it's going the right way. So." I respect it. He's played it safe. He's tried to be PC about it. But whatever he's doing, it's working. And
Yeah, so you
if you're
need as a
Palace
Palace
fan,
fan,
you just
innit?
want him
Yeah.
to. Long may it continue, really. Isn't it?
I mean, if we look at their fixtures, Everton next at home.
At home, 3 points.
Should win that.
Yeah.
If they play the way
Think
they've
it's
been
actually
playing
their
and the way
current form.
Everton have been
3
playing,
points.
and also even if soon, Dyche goes there with his defensive, Roy knows how to do that too. Yeah, we just talked about him doing that for a couple of seasons.
And Palace have got better players.
Attacking
Everton.
options.
Yeah.
Simple.
And then they've got Wolves away.
That'll be a good
I think
match.
another win.
Mm.
I think another win and another win.
I'm not sure they win those 2 games easily.
No, I don't think. I think
Everton.
I
Yeah.
think they beat Everton.
I think they get 4 points out of those 2 games. They must be safe. If I look at the table now, when we talked about Vieira getting sacked, they were 3 points ahead of just above the relegation zone. Now, when I look down to Everton, they've got a 9-point cushion now. And by the very nature of the way those teams are playing, I can't see that getting close. But there's still enough games to get in trouble. I think 4 points.
It's what Chelsea are in trouble as well. Then.
I think that extra 3 points might just.
That would have been hilarious.
I'm sure we're going to come on to Chelsea, but remember we said
Can you imagine?
Frank Lampard might not pick up a win for 3-4 games.
Bro.
Remember we said that.
I mean, well, let's talk about Fulham Everton. We were debating, no Mitrovic. We were debating whether they could pull out results. They go to Everton and deal with them relatively convincingly. I didn't see that game, but the scoreline suggests it was pretty convincing.
I mean, this is Everton we're talking about. They're not great. Sean Dyche is not necessarily. His teams are not necessarily set up to play in a certain kind of attacking with an attacking flair or a style that's entertaining. It's just try not to concede and long balls or set pieces. Fulham, yes, okay, Mitrovic is a big loss, but they're more dynamic. They're when they're going forward, you've got Decordova-Reid, you've
Willian.
got Pereira.
Yeah.
They've got player Willian as well, like you just said. They've got options. They've got in my mind, they've got better options than Everton.
True. And I think we unfairly painting them out to be a little bit more reliant on Mitrovic than they are. I mean, look at the team. He started at Vinicius.
Carlos
I'll
Vinicius.
always remember him for that Tottenham game and that celebration.
The FA Cup game, wasn't it?
Started with him up front. Obviously, as you said, Willian's been playing well. Pereira's been silently going about his business. Ex-Man U and that. Paulinho, who's been a
solid.
Very
solid.
But to be fair to Dyche, to be fair, when he's playing 4-5-1, he's got Gray, he's got McNeil in the team, he's got Iwobi. He's not dashed away all the players we thought he would, right? I do think if the strikers come back and he's got less injuries, I don't think Gray starts.
Which strikers?
I don't think
Mope.
That's some dead strikers.
I can't believe Frank
Which
Lampard signed him.
strikers?
Aye, listen,
Yeah,
don't start me on Frank,
And I think you got to think with
but Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
He's
Yeah.
injured.
he's
For the
not
rest
what he
of the
I was
was.
season.
about to say something else, but he's injured.
for the rest of the season. He's done for the
Bro,
rest of the
he
season.
don't play.
Yeah,
He's washed in it.
You can't rely on him. He's
That's
not
but-
reliable.
But if for Dyche's way of playing, that's a big hindrance. That's a massive
No,
I'm
hindrance.
not
they
gonna lie
need
to you,
him fit
DCL
for a
will
season.
probably
Yeah.
end up
But
at Doncaster Rovers.
We'll come back for 2 games and be injured again.
And also as well, like Dyche was brought in to save a team from potential relegation, and he's never done that before. Like he's always been at Burnley. I know they struggled towards the back end of last season when he left the role, but he'd never been seen as like a firefighter manager where he's come in to kind of do that job. And granted, like he started off really well against Arsenal. Everyone thought, he could have bring his.
Did he overstart
authority.
too early? So we said we criticised management and saying, why would you do it now? You've only got 10 games left, etc. Actually, is Dyche someone where he had his bounce? He's won a couple of games, but it was so early. So
But I'm sure-
it might be inconsequential now.
Dyche, Dyche would be a manager for at least 13, 14 games. I don't think that's too.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So typically, we're saying all of these appointments are late. Normally, people put
Oh,
the
yeah,
trigger
yeah,
around
yeah.
Christmas,
Sorry.
etc. But now, we're actually saying, well, hold on. That bounce he had actually would have had more effect now.
But
He's
you know
had his
what?
peak
Yeah?
and
Yeah.
Keith's got a point, bro, because we look at Dyche like the Sam Allardyce
yeah.
kind of guy.
And that's more about style of
Come
play.
in and
Yeah.
saves the day with that style of play, gets them all organised, and you get me. But he's not done that. It's not that. Might just not be that kind of guy. That's how he plays. Yeah, he kind of plays like that. But to save a team, like we know Big Sam does
Yeah.
what he does, and he
Yeah.
comes in and he revamps the thing, like default settings, boom.
Yeah. Which
Gets
is why
them
you
going.
asked that week.
But
Why
Sean
has no one called
Dyche
him?
really might not be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might need the whole pre-season
Yeah.
to like get his thoughts over and his style of play,
So effectively,
etc.
what you're saying, it's lazy comparisons. Just because they got the same defensive style of play,
Yeah,
but the scenarios in which they've used that style of play to
Which
affect
they
have been very
execute.
different.
It's still very different.
You know what? The players might just not be enjoying it anymore. Because you know when he first came in, he came in with this whole military.
Oh yeah, you can't wear gloves in
You
training.
can't wear gloves
No
in training. We're
sleeves.
gonna run until we
No
fall on
leg
the
in.
Done
floor.
well against Arsenal.
The players are probably just like,
Done.
you know what? I'm not feeling this no more.
Yes.
He's probably ran them into the ground, bro.
Did too much bleep test, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Too much bleep test. They're probably just like, no, we can't do
I mean,
this.
since
no
the Arsenal game, including the Arsenal game, he's won 3 games. He's lost 5 games and drawn 3 games. So
Peak.
Relegation form.
They're going down, buddy.
I put them in.
You know what?
five.
You know what though? You see Isaac here. I swear he's got a vendetta against him.
He's a
They
Liverpool
do.
fan. bro.
No.
He
bro.
does.
He's Liverpool from
He
Liverpool.
hates them, bro. No, but this. Oh, he's a Liverpool fan. He's a Liverpool fan in London,
He's
bro.
saying
No,
he'll
but he's from Liverpool.
he'll punch,
Liverpool.
he'll punch up an Everton fan if he gets.
You got a point.
Yeah.
You got a
So,
point.
all right,
Just
so
give me the
let's
eyes.
get
bro.
on to the return of the lamps. Chelsea 1, Brighton 2. It's been 3 games, 0 points. And then I saw an interview today where he said, "Oh, calling Chelsea broken is a bit dramatic." Bro, are you all right?
I mean, that's not as bad as saying I didn't realise how good Real Madrid were.
Brother.
He doesn't understand why people would say they're broken. He's the 3rd manager this season. Bro.
I think we're just going to regurgitate the same thing, innit?
Yeah.
Like, no style of play, no leadership from the owners. Bringing in Frank was lazy.
I hear that, but I tell you
and
what it is.
Enrique, and then the reports coming out that Enrique was ready to take the role
Bro,
now. And they said, no, we're going to go with Frank. And that's kind of soured
the relationship.
the relationship between Chelsea and him. So you can pretty much count him out unless they kind of go begging, look, please, we need you. Can you come in?
No, I need to
Back that Brinks truck up.
listen, I need to speak to a couple of people that work in the game, because one thing that caught my ear, and I've never worked a day in my life in a football club, but when they've got 2 directors of football, the too many cooks thing came to mind kind of immediately. And I know you say you might be regurgitating, but every week that they don't win a game, I find it even more incredible that you made that investment of, there are players that have actual quality, not people that are punts. Enzo is not a joke.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? There are players you made.
He's a joke.
He's not a joke.
He could turn out to be another James Rodriguez.
Can I say?
No,
Had a
he's
sick
not.
World Cup.
Can I
But
say?
Went
you
for a
can't
big
even
piece.
you can't even draw a game, bro.
Can I say something? I'm not wasting my breath on Chelsea, by the way. Don't care about them. First of all, Danny Welbeck. Bow.
Wait. Mark, was it a
No.
dick?
It weren't a dick.
Nah,
still.
don't
It
matter.
wasn't a dick.
Don't matter.
It weren't a dick.
It's a back post header.
Don't
It's a back
matter.
post
Big up
header.
Daddy, big up Daddy.
Which
But
is
it was a
another,
dick,
which is
yeah.
another way of he's dope at scoring. Back post headers? Nah, overall, bro.
I'm
Them
dead.
back post headers and dinks. Welbeck scored that.
How many has he done this season?
I can't remember.
Don't matter. Don't matter.
No, but
And
big up
then-
Daddy Welbeck.
And next thing, I don't know. I need to know who this Brighton scout is, or their team of scouts, because what's his name? And I googled it. Enciso or whatever. That
yeah.
goal. Oh my lord! Even before the goal, when he was just running or doing mad thing, I was thinking, where did they find this guy from? Who
Apparently
is
they've
he?
got next one. He's on loan somewhere, and he's come back next season. Apparently they've got whenever he's a winger, and I was listening to something earlier. When Matoma goes, that's who they're shipping into.
Brother, these
So-
it's
conveyor
like these
belt.
brothers are
Is it-
fearless as well. Who told him to shoot? Like, no, who told him to shoot?
And did you see the run that Matoma done in the first half?
Bro,
Where he had
they're
like
mad.
3 man on
Jesus
skates.
So
They are mad.
Is it the money ball approach, the stats approach that,
So I think-
apparently Liverpool and there's one other team.
Well, that's what Brentford was saying
Brentford.
last week.
Brentford.
Brentford do it.
So Brentford are very, very, very data driven. So if you look at the owner, he made his money in betting,
Gambling.
and he used data to drive his decision. So he's very clever. But I think Brighton, from what I've read, it's a multitude of things. They treat their football technical stuff a bit like the players. So they scout the people that could be good directors of football. They have a list of people who can who can come into those roles. And they just have a set process, and they got certain criteria of the players, and they don't always get it right, obviously, but they're getting it right more than often. So I think that's what it is with Brighton.
Got it wrong.
So Brighton is not just we know the good left backs or the right backs, but if
More
someone
play.
in their hierarchy quits, look at how when Potter left, right? Took Potter, took all the staff. I think even one of the guys that are involved in the technical department, he left and went to Chelsea as well,
Yeah.
right? But if you've been doing this for years, that might not be felt immediately, right? Because there's players who's already signed, that conveyor belt is going.
Mhm.
What they bring in now, De Zerbi's already making improvements. That's great, and that coaching staff. Whoever they replace him with in the technical department, we might not see any detriment in that for a season or two. But right now, what they've been doing over the last 5 years, bruv, it's a joke. It's a joke. Ben White, we can go back, keep going back. It's
Mad.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I would love to see them in the Champions League. I don't think it's going to happen. But I think Brighton.
I think they need a season in the Europa.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't need to go
a
to
season.
Champions
Yeah.
Yeah, just to
break
manage
that.
playing European
You know what I
football.
was
Thursday,
gonna
Sunday,
say as
Thursday,
well?
Sunday.
I'm thinking, you know, their room, their minority report
Yeah.
scouting
Yeah.
thing that they got going on. Bruv, I feel like they've got this box here that's unlocked, fam. That means if we enter Europe,
Yeah.
these are what's available. Because these are the players that will only go to teams that are in Europe.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
so
if they get into Europe,
next
I'm just
caliber
thinking,
player.
bruv, what kind of players are they going to sign?
And also, they've got a manager who has managed across 2 or 3 leagues in Europe as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done Champions League. Good couple
Where else has he
times.
been? He's been at Shakhtar. Where
So
else?
Shakhtar, he
Zenit.
managed in Italy.
No, Shakhtar, sorry.
Yeah, so I think he's managed in Italy as well. So he managed Scamacca, the striker at West Ham. Did he manage in Spain as well? I want to say he has, but he's definitely done at least 2 leagues in Europe. He's done a bit of Champions League. To T's point, there's probably players in Europe that he'd want to bring in and unlock, but they want to play European ball. I think Brighton, let's see, but in terms of like getting the league, long-term strategy, sticking to your guns, when big teams come to
They've
sign
done
your
it.
players, you get the fee that you want. They stuck with the Caicedo piece with us. That might be one of the best projects of recent
They
times.
just do everything right, don't they? Everything.
Sustainable.
Yeah.
Well, let me not say that. I've not read their accounts, but I'll have a look before the next one. But they seem sustainable from the outside. They got good owners. It's not like anyone's pulling up with hundreds of millions. I think that might be one of the best projects
clubs.
in our time in the Premier League.
He managed at Shakhtar and Sassuolo
Yeah, Sassuolo. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
recent.
So yeah. But the Europa League though, that Thursday, Sunday,
Yeah, it's not a joke.
it's not a joke, man. And the Europa League will have you traveling to places that don't have airports, bro.
Yeah, bro.
He's taking a
Azerbaijan and
Baku,
everyone's
Baku.
yeah, bro.
Your fans are, taking 4 days off work to get there and back.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But if a
Yeah,
team
doing
can do
well,
it,
man.
it's them. Yeah, let's.
And it's good as well. Like over the last few years, you've kind of had your core 4 or 5 teams at the
Yeah.
top, where no one's really looked like they could knock on the door.
Mm,
Where now you obviously got Newcastle's investment, you got Brighton playing well.
Yeah.
I think in the next couple of years,
do you think he's gonna cement again?
no, I think there's just going to be more teams challenging for
I
that
agree.
4th spot. Maybe not 1, 2, 3, but I think there'll be more teams challenging.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna see more clubs get purchased. I think American owners, like a lot of the times you see clubs now. Before you used to hear about is this region of the world, but now what you're seeing a lot of time is US equity, private equity groups, and US groups buying clubs. So I think the change of ownership keeps going, new investment, etc.
Yeah.
If we get onto the Villa Newcastle game, but you were going to say something, go on.
No, go on. I'm
But
cool.
if we get to the Villa Newcastle game, our old mate Emery, what a job he's doing. 3-0 Newcastle.
Serious.
That's not an easy result to get, you know.
That's-
Just-
Hold on. Can we go back? Was it 2 episodes? And I said 3 episodes. And we was talking about England striking options.
Ooh,
And I
yeah.
mentioned
Sounds like another apologies coming.
Just say who
Yeah.
disagreed with you.
and I
That's all it is.
mentioned to the chap on my right, Olly Watkins. And I asked, is there, potential for him to play himself back into the squad? And someone said with Vim.
A
He's not getting
resounding,
back in.
a resounding no.
Can I ask you who was in the stands at that game?
Bruv,
Gareth.
Big G.
There you go.
Bruv, I don't know what Emery's done. I don't know what he's putting in his cornflakes, but this guy is moving mad.
Nuts.
I didn't see it.
No,
I didn't see it because the chance I've seen him miss.
He is on
Nah, he's moving
job.
mad.
Yeah, he's
He
doing
is
well.
on job.
And I think you got to
him and Buendia.
take Emery's time at Arsenal out.
I don't
Emery,
think he should. He finished 5th. It's
He's
not
a good
even like
manager.
it was
He's
a
gonna,
madness.
even
I know,
senior
but
Arsenal
like,
teams.
Finished 5th.
I
Got to
say-
Europa
I say-
League final.
I say take it out because everyone doesn't really look at it favourably just because of where they expected Arsenal to be in that time period.
They're mad.
And I said, like, he hadn't done that bad at the time. But Emery's a really good manager.
He is.
Like,
Very good.
however many Europa Leagues,
Back
he-
to free
back
P.
to back.
three-peat.
That's moving like Jordan.
I'm free P.
And-
And they were saying, imagine getting Aston Villa into the
Europa
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 League,
League, no, which
where
looks-
he's a specialist. I mean, as an Aston Villa
Dangerous.
fan,
yeah.
A few more
Dangerous.
signings and they could
that's
probably
a
win that.
dream.
Dangerous.
To your point, I think what's interesting is we're going to have two teams who play different styles of football. Emery and De Zerbi have slightly different ways of approaching it, but it's almost the same kind of situations. You got owners who they also took a different approach, but we've got two teams kind of emerge into that Europa League standard. It looks like they've got managers that can keep them there. It's going to be interesting to see who makes the right signings, because if I said to you at the beginning of the season, you can go to Aston Villa, you can go to Brighton, and you can make the same money. Where do you think players are going?
Aston Villa.
Villa,
Right.
easy.
Bigger name.
So, but now, this summer, actually, and I'm saying if you can make the same money, because we know money can swing it, right?
Yeah.
If you offer a player a bit more money, you might go to Villa.
Yeah, you think
But I
about
don't
it
know
more
if
now,
that's,
innit?
yeah, I don't think that's that clear cut. So it's going to be interesting to see how
It all
they're very,
depends. It all depends on their summer
yeah.
window.
What's Anjan, yeah?
Who do they bring in the
And
summer?
who do they keep?
Exactly.
Because we
Yeah,
don't really know
Because that will signal your
Emery's
intention.
signings. Because I'm not sure if he signed anyone in January.
No.
I think that's what makes
So-
it slightly even more pressing.
Yeah, so it'd be good to see like if he's got a budget, who he signs and how they integrate into the
he
team.
dropped out Coutinho and he dropped out Dean.
Well, Coutinho's been injured for some time.
No, but even before he was
He
in,
wasn't playing.
at first it was, we have to play him, and then slowly he just started fading
No.
out of the squad.
Wait, didn't Emery sign that Sevilla centre back?
Oh, he got injured.
No, didn't Gerrard
No,
sign him?
Gerrard
Oh yeah,
signed him.
yeah,
He
yeah,
signed
he
him
got
last
injured
season.
like first or second
And he
game
did
of
like
the season,
ACL,
innit?
like second
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
yeah,
come out of the
yeah.
season.
It was crazy.
I think with him in the squad, Gerrard might have had different fortunes. Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
potentially, but
Not. Maybe,
Imagine
maybe
him
not.
next season under Emery.
Exactly.
but the choice has been made and it's worked out. It's
Yeah,
paid out for
so-
them, innit? So
So yeah, no, that's. I think that is kind of shaping up. If Newcastle don't maintain their Champions League level next season, which I think they're going to struggle to, if certain other teams buck up their ideas, then you've actually got this. You got this. Outside the top four, you're going to have Spurs, Newcastle, Brighton, Villa. It's Liverpool. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
I mean,
But-
again, it's another. What happens in the window will decide,
a lot.
or which way they're going to go. Or it will signal which way they
I'm getting
intend
a
to
bit
go.
And as much as we praise Brighton, we've seen in the past, there's only so many times you can replace good players
Yeah.
with unknowns. Like, he says that now, then they go and do a
Who are
manager.
you referring to? Newcastle.
No, Brighton.
Brighton.
Because again,
Oh.
to your point, they're selling Matoma. They're selling
McAllister might
Caicedo. There's only so many times you can just keep respawning these amazing quality players that were relatively unknown. There's got to be a limit to it. Otherwise, the whole story has to kind of flip on its head. They're not relatively unknown players, and it's not that much of a risk now, because we saw that with Leicester. They couldn't replace the Kantés and the Mahrezes, etc. Brighton have done it for a few cycles. That can only happen for so long, in my head. But we'll see.
If
But
they
you're right.
if they get into Europe, do they still continue with this philosophy though, or do they bring
Yeah,
in
that's the
players?
same.
that
Yeah, they
are-
have to.
yeah.
No, not in terms of the style of play, in terms of the players that they bring in, because
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
you don't think they bring in big names that are already
No.
made.
No, but to T's point, getting that level of competition now unlocks a next level of players.
Yeah. And if you ever hear the chairman speak, there was I think it was Sky or BT, one of the games after the whole Caicedo thing, he came and did an interview. And then you could just tell the way he talks about it, how sustainable they want to be, how they manage the finances, all that stuff. He is adamant not to get stung by the bright lights. And also, the other thing I have to remember, the prize money. They finished 6th, 7th. Prize money is a lot greater.
Mm.
Europa League TV money isn't amazing or life-changing, but it's still better than what they've had before.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah, I
They're
don't
not in
think
Europe,
he allows anyone there to get carried away.
And we said before, because of the TV rights money shared in the league, nobody needs to sell anymore. You only sell now because you had an offer's made that you find acceptable for a player
Or the player wants to
from
leave.
another team in the league. Like the whole Caicedo point, for example, they didn't need to sell him because they're going to get money regardless from the TV deals that are coming up.
Yeah. All right. And then last but not least, I know we've got a game going live now. Is that game finished yet?
Finish.
Yeah, let's go.
6-1, cheese.
Jota scored
6-1.
2 goals, by the way.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh. When I checked my phone after, I wasn't saying. I said, what, hold
Hold on. There seems to be a little bit of pattern going on there.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong.
Before we started recording,
Bro, that's outside talking about Jota.
Listen.
There seems to be a
brother.
pattern, Coach.
No, he's trying to do content.
Okay, go
bro.
on.
What did I say? I said Liverpool fans I was talking to earlier said XYZ.
But
These are my
No,
fault.
but then you
But
gave your
these
own.
Liverpool fans.
You gave your
Nah,
own.
Coco, you know what I need you to do? I need you to
You
start
did-
cussing Jesus.
You didn't. Wait.
No.
I need you to start cussing Arsenal
If you
players.
just
bro.
tell me I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
I'm sure you said, but what, you can't do a 5-yard?
No, that was the argument they were having.
No, but
No, but
you.
you said
I
it.
wasn't.
No,
I wasn't.
it
I wasn't.
sounded like it came from
3
you.
against 1.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Sounded like
I was
it
saying I
came
could
from
understand why they're asking.
Yeah, so you understand.
I need you to get on
No, no,
Arsenal
no, no,
players.
no.
bro.
What do you mean?
Now we don't agree.
I understand, but
I need you to
I
get
wasn't-
on Arsenal players
I
for the
wasn't
rest
out
of the
there- I
season,
wasn't
bro.
out there
So we can
slagging him
start
off. I was saying
banging.
I can understand because they weren't being unreasonable and saying, "Oh, why isn't Jota slapping in 3 or 4 goals every game?" They were just saying that if he's not going to be doing the basics, he's adding to the destabilization of the team.
Fair enough. But
And I was
Isaac
like-
and I did say he's been injured for a while.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
And
you did.
you could see that he's trying a bit too
The
hard.
rebuttal isn't for me. He's
I know,
just
I'm just saying, it's a rebuttals for your friends who support.
Trying to get you to do an apology.
You see those Liverpool fans in that group I'm in? Listen, let me not even start.
But yeah, good.
What was the score? 6?
6-1 away from home. It's not a bad
Leeds,
result.
baby. You're finished.
I put Leeds in.
I put
mine.
Leeds
Oh
in
no,
mine.
everyone did.
Everyone did.
Yeah,
Everyone-
everyone, they're going down.
Oh, 6-1.
Mm-hmm.
That's 11 in 2 games at home.
Elland Road's not an easy place to go to, so hats off to Liverpool, boy.
We doing Sundays games?
Well, 8.
So
We got 8th now, 2 points behind Brighton. Brighton have got a game in hand, so let's not worry about it. All right. All jokes aside though, what are we saying? Because do you have enough to look, can't go Europa League. I swear the banner would be too much.
Do you know what? I'm actually kind of getting a bit peed off, bro. That Villa, Brighton, and Newcastle are doing their thing because that just means that you lot ain't. Well, you lot will probably end up in Europe somewhere, but Tottenham, Chelsea, they might just drop. Well, Chelsea are out, but Tottenham might drop away altogether as well, and then no Europe.
Yeah.
I want them to have some.
Yeah,
Europe.
to derail their season.
But I want Villa and Brighton to be in like Europa. I would like that. I wouldn't mind them being
I
in
don't think
Europa
Tottenham will
League
drop too far out.
or the
I
Conference League
I
or
can't
something.
see Tottenham challenging for the title. But then I'm pretty sure everyone would have said they would have never seen Leicester challenging for the title, right? I probably think they'd aim for a cup more so than the league. I don't think they're even going to.
I think he means this season.
I think it's
No,
this season.
are you talking about this
He's
season?
talking about
Yeah,
this
so you
season.
talk about
I thought
I'm
you
saying
I
with
thought you
all the
talking about.
other-
Oh,
with-
no,
with-
like,
so with
I thought
Brighton
you talking
and
about where
Villa
they're finishing
coming
and
in.
then for next
No.
season.
No.
With Brighton,
like,
Villa, and you lot turning it up a little bit now,
Yeah.
Tottenham ain't going to be in Europe.
I reckon they'll still be in Europe.
you know what? Controversially, I would prefer if we didn't get into Europe.
Yeah, of course you
That's
would.
what I'm
You
saying.
want-
I want you lot to be in Europe. I don't want you lot to be in Champions
Because-
League, and I don't want Tottenham to be in Champions League. But I want
Oh,
them
you're
to be. In,
so-
I want you lot to be in Europe,
So to the point, Liverpool are 6 points.
Conference League, preferably.
No, so I was
Liverpool are
so I was
6
on the right
points
track. then.
off the Champions League places. You know, it's not insurmountable. Do you think there's a chance that you get Champions League? Is my question.
I think
Yes
we
or
have to
no?
be we have to be perfect.
What's the
It's
what?
like
Are they
yes
off?
or no?
What are they?
No.
What,
No.
how many points are they off? Fourth.
6.
6 points.
They can make Europe. They can make Champions League, man.
But I think we got to be perfect.
We're too inconsistent. No, we're too inconsistent.
Yeah, we have to be. We have to win the remaining 6 or 7 games.
I test the last 2 games. You've been very consistent. The last 2 games you've been on point, on job. So who's the next game? Who do you play next?
We got
Forest at home.
okay.
Come on, man. That's
all
9
right.
points.
If
Next,
the-
next,
9
next,
points.
next
Hold on.
three.
The second half of the Arsenal game was you lot.
The
That's
last
you.
60
That was,
minutes was you. lot.
that was your fault.
No, but
Basically.
that was Liverpool playing. This
we turned
game,
up. We turned up out of
6.
passion.
What,
We
Xhaka?
turned up out of passion.
Xhaka.
Right?
That was rough.
Hold on.
Is it- was it Xhaka? I'm just asking.
Not biting.
We turned up out of passion,
Yeah.
and then Leeds. They're getting relegated.
So, but you're still slapping
one cares
6.
for them.
Points
Nope,
is points.
doesn't matter.
Points is points.
Doesn't
So,
matter.
Let's look at your run. Yeah, you've got Forest at home next.
3 points.
West Ham away.
3
Next
points.
week.
Not
Wednesday.
not guaranteed.
3
Not
points.
guaranteed.
3 points.
Bruv, it's
Liverpool
Liverpool
going to-
this season.
3
Bro,
points.
if
And
they
West Ham are
turn
fighting for
up
their lives.
like
Yeah,
now, if they
Three
turn up
points.
for the
It's
rest of the end of the season, His last
Wait,
few
when's
games.
West Ham's, when's West Ham's second leg?
This week.
This week.
This week.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Then a game and then another midweek game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Maybe.
Mm,
Maybe.
I'm not
You go to
confident.
Spurs.
Yeah, I'm not confident.
No, Spurs
Easy
come
for
through
Yeah,
three
Anfield.
points.
I think
Easy
we beat
3
Spurs.
points.
Man said easy 3
What,
points.
against Spurs at
No,
Anfield?
those are easy 3 points.
Yeah, I think we beat Spurs.
At home.
Easy 3 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spurs at Anfield. That's
Yeah.
easy 3 points.
Then Fulham at home at Anfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Brentford at Anfield.
Okay.
You've got what?
If-
Three
Yeah, we
home
got-
games
If
in a
it's
row.
if it's
But
this,
everyone else around us as well.
Then you've got Leicester away.
Who Man United?
But we've got, but other teams have got to drop points.
Exactly.
Like,
But wait,
I said,
but
we
wait.
have to be perfect and hope
No, I
others do a
understand
favour
that,
for
but
us.
I guess what I'm saying is, if you look at those fixtures, you picking up the larger majority of the available fixtures, it would look like the difficulty of those
If you're-
fixtures.
if you're playing how you're playing now,
we're going to
for the
get in
rest of
Europa
the
League
season,
or
I feel
or
like
Europa
maybe.
Conference. One of the two.
And then your last game of the season, well, no, so after Leicester away, you got Aston Villa at home,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
easy 3 points.
No.
No.
Oh, it's not.
No way.
It's at Anfield.
But it's a
though.
different team though.
It's at Anfield though.
Yeah, but that might be a draw. Spurs at Anfield is easy 3 points. Spurs at
He's
Anfield. is
moving
easy.
like Tottenham didn't just lose to Bournemouth.
Anyway, and then you've got Southampton away on the last day of the season.
bloody hell.
Yeah, it looks favourable, but the consistency that we showed this season.
Okay,
can't- you can't have any-
if it's the Liverpool, let's say you
You're
lot
not
are
backing your team.
coming back full strength now to the end of the
Don't even
season.
go there.
Let's just say
Don't
you
even
are.
go there.
Man United and
Don't even
Newcastle,
go
they're gonna drop points.
Yeah, they more probably, but I think we've got to be perfect. Like, it helps with Diaz coming back. We've essentially got our front 5 back now because everyone's fit.
I feel like you could do it.
I'm still shaky with our midfield, even though Thiago's back. Defense has been inconsistent.
I hate Liverpool, you
Like,
know.
if I say where we're going to, I say Europa League.
Nah, big
Europa
man
League
thing.
is going to be bad.
Bro, when they played us, I see Thiago doing the flicky thing. I was thinking, so why didn't you lot do this all the time? I don't understand.
he was injured.
No,
Apparently
not
they're
him,
not
just
extending his
in
contract.
general.
yeah,
Why?
yeah.
They,
Oh, really?
When he's on the pitch, they feel,
I see them doing mad things.
they feel a bit better.
What? I'm sorry, but why would you laugh at us being in Europa League? I don't understand.
Why would we laugh?
Yeah.
Because
The
in
same way
recent
you laughed at
times,
us.
it's not.
The same way
Yeah,
you
but you were
laughed at
there
us.
like consistently and didn't win it.
Oh, so you're not gonna win it?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd back us to win it
What, Europa
yeah?
League?
if we was in it.
All right, cool. It's on tape now, innit? Cool.
Book it with the camera. Book it.
Every time you said book it, bro, it's never worked out.
Yeah, I know.
Supposed to be the clip. All right, lastly, we got Forest 0, Manchester United 2. I mean, they laboured a bit, but we expected that.
Bruno again. Been unlocked. It's taken a while.
Stop, brother.
And you know what's mad, yeah?
No, I'm joking. He's a decent player, man.
Oh yeah.
He's playing better now than when he was scoring and assisting consistently in that first 18 months.
Yes. You know what it is with Bruno, yeah? He's one of those players that he just plays with this like petulance and entitlement. He just jars me. Watching him play jars me. It just annoys me. But yeah, I'll give him his flowers. He's got some good stats.
He's a good player.
He's a good player, but
Him and Anthony in the same team must be so annoying, bro.
bro,
The most
I see
annoying
on players' faces. Like some players just want to tell him, bro, shut up, man. Like you can see when they're playing with him. You can see it. But
Yeah.
that Casemiro.
But you see with
Bruno.
Anthony, yeah? Like, Anthony's still young. It's like, can you check Anthony's age?
Yeah.
Before.
Oh yeah, you.
25,
But
It must
26.
be
yeah.
aging
No.
people, bro.
He's early 20s. There's my ballpark. And what I like about Anthony, even though he hasn't been
23.
Thanks. What I like about Anthony, even though he hasn't been that
So
great,
Keith's man is 26.
he hasn't been great this season. You can see he's got the confidence about him. Like, he's like, give me the ball.
yeah.
Let me see what I can do.
Yeah.
Like, I like when players don't hide away.
Why are you throwing shots at Sancho, bro?
Me? I didn't say no name.
That might be you, Coca, still.
I was
But
gonna
yeah,
say, I was gonna say Pepe to
To
be
Andy,
honest.
that was a decent
Oh,
assist as well for.
Pepe
Uh,
scored 10 Prem goals at least. So.
But yeah, I like that he always wants the ball. He doesn't hide away. When he gets subbed off, you can see that he's like frustrated.
Mm.
I'm not saying I want it to work out for him, but you can see he's got something about him in it. Like, I like the little arrogance and confidence he's got.
I mean, what do you guys think? I think in ball today, we're very quick to like stick the narrative on people in it. But he hasn't been he's come from the Dutch league, come to the Prem. That step up is no joke.
Yeah.
The Dutch league is not one of the stronger leagues in professional football.
Until
Is-
Ajax turn up and bop you.
Yeah, that's true.
It's better than Serie A.
Our Spurs. But
so
well,
what was
I
that? Sorry.
I'm joking.
Oh.
Move on. Let's keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, so it's all good for banter and that. Everything's banter these days, but it's his first season. Can we give him some leeway, or is he just a one-trick pony and we should just
I'll give him
what
a
he
bit
deserves?
of credit. He's come into the league.
With a price tag that he didn't set.
Yeah, with a bit of
exactly.
fire, some character.
Mm.
We don't like seeing just robots that just do whatever norm in it. So
Just needs to
I
bring
give
the
him
end
that.
product.
He's just a Man United player, innit? So I don't know.
And he's
You got to
passed
give him
for
the
them.
second season. Like,
Yeah.
big money moves. You got, like, you know, there's players that are going to come and shell straight away, i.e. Haaland, etc.
Yeah.
I think you got to give him his second season and see how he gets on.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, he played well yesterday. Some end I think people just want to see end product from him. That's what it is. End
No, I
product.
think he's done well enough.
I think
I
he's
wouldn't go
destined
that far.
to be
What,
better.
because of the price tag?
No, not
No,
just
just in terms of if you've gone to a team like Man United, I think your goals and assists, what is he, around 10 maybe?
Can we have a look?
Yeah, I mean-
like I think you got to be aiming for kind of 10 to 15 goals and assists, even if it's 11,
First
even if it's
season.
14 assists
First
and
season.
1 goal. Yeah,
I was even gonna say on the eye test. So with players like him, and the Pepe comparison wasn't that mad because there are times when he's getting the ball, he's not putting his left back on the left back under pressure. He's turning, he's playing an easy pass, or he's doing a piece of skill that is inconsequential in front of the defender, and then you're fluffing your end product. So I'm not even thinking goals and assists. I'm just saying I expected him to affect games a bit more, to have a little bit more end product.
But I
and
don't
to
mind
give
that
his
though.
left back a little bit more. Like if you're a left back this season, as the time has gone on, Anthony didn't worry you as much as other right
I
wingers.
don't mind that, man.
He should have been worrying left backs.
No,
I
but
don't
you're
think he was
a
enough.
winger. You got to take chances, isn't it?
No, but he wasn't. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't taking.
No,
the
but what I'm
chances.
saying is you got to feel your way into the league. You got to find your feet,
Yeah. That's
find
true.
your speed, so you can like be comfortable with doing certain things, innit? He's a trickster guy, so he has to try and take on the fullback and whatever. If it don't work, it don't really work. But I'm saying his numbers, I don't know his numbers, but I think they're
He's got 6 goals
decent.
this season and 1 assist.
yeah. I feel like okay, assists
I
would
think
be
he-
a bit more, but
Yeah.
I'm saying for that new league and that,
Yeah, I don't even mind.
it's
Even
not
if his
bad.
numbers was the same, but when I saw him play, I felt like it was positive. It was. But
Yeah.
then I wouldn't mind because
Yeah,
it's
I think-
not easy. The Dutch league is not. It's not a
I
joke,
think it's
bro.
what Joel said earlier. So his price tag, if it wasn't, what did they come in for? 100 mil?
100 mil.
If it wasn't 100
What?
mil, if
Yeah,
they
euros, I think.
it's 100 mil.
Yeah.
100 million euros
Yeah.
or 100 million pounds.
Euros,
Give or
euros.
take.
Oh,
Either or, it's
But
not much
If
difference.
he came in for like 25 mil, we wouldn't be talking about his stats
No.
being that bad.
Hmm.
So it is.
I don't know.
think
So I'm not basing his stats on his price tag, but I'm basing his stats on a regular starter for Manchester United. So even regardless if he's coming in
And a
at-
team that's third.
yeah, regardless if you're coming in at 20 million or 100 million, if you're getting played week in, week out, and your appearances are 30 and your goal contributions are less than a third than that, you've got to be like, you can do better. And next season, you want to aim to do better.
And
than
also,
that.
I don't think you can have it both ways. Like he set a certain expectation. He was playing well in Holland. People were looking at him. We expected him to get a decent move. So when you get here, there's going to be a certain level of expectation of what you can do. But I'm not even looking numbers because, again, the team overall haven't played fantastically well the whole season, right? They've picked up halfway through, etc. It's just what, again, like when you see him play, like you remember with Pepe, every time he got the ball, kill that left back. You just turn around, give the ball back to the right back or to whoever who's coming to that pocket from centre mid.
But can you fairly judge a player on their first season?
No.
Any player?
Yeah, in terms of his output, I wouldn't go too much into it, but I just think he's going to have to do more.
I think you
with
can
the
see
ball.
the glimpses. Like I think
Yeah,
there's a difference
yeah.
between not playing great and being like, I can't see where this is going or where it's going to work out. Maybe Sancho. Where with Anthony, you can see he could have like a really good season next season or the season after, where you're like, yeah, he's got something.
I'm sure we thought that with Pepe though.
Boy,
I still, well, no, not anymore. But
Not
I think
anymore.
Pepe would have had a
But-
decent
but
season
the-
this year
I think Pepe got enough
if he was
chances.
at Arsenal.
They
he
think
wouldn't
Pepe got
have,
enough
he
chances.
wouldn't have got.
He
in
said
the
he
team,
didn't
though.
or he did?
Arteta.
He
I
did.
don't think
Oh,
he
yeah,
would have got in the
yeah.
team.
Not in front of Saka, but I think if he came on as like a substitute,
I don't think it would have made. I don't think he would have done much because he would have just been coming on as a substitute.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
And I don't even
surprised.
think he would have got that.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't think he would have been taken off Saka.
I wouldn't be surprised if Arteta kept him. I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
wouldn't be surprised. either.
But if Arteta's keeping him, then I expect that his gameplay will change and it will be more of what he expects. But I'm expecting that he leaves. And I think he goes back to France, to be honest.
You should probably at least give him pre-season. Take him on tour. If it doesn't work out,
I don't know, man.
I don't think he's gonna get that
because I don't think he comes back and challenges Saka or Martinelli. Like if you look at Saka and Martinelli when they're on job, the dynamism that they bring,
it's different.
It's like you saw it like maybe 4
and
times.
Pepe, do you want that? Do you want pre-season and then offer me? No, bro. You know what? Let me go and do pre-season at a club where I'm gonna play.
I can go to France and do my thing.
Give him a chance,
I don't need to
innit?
do
Because
this
we need
running
another-
around business that Arteta.
we need
I don't
another
care
right
about
winger.
winning like
Right? It's only Saka on the right now.
Yeah.
We don't have a replacement.
but you'll be in a
Pepe
position-
leaves him. I think Arteta gets rid of him and signs someone else.
Yeah, you're getting Champions League money next year. You'll be in a position to sign
Whoever.
2-3 players or whatever. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see.
All right, cool. So, actually, before we look ahead, just some off the pitch news. It looks like there's going to be a change to some sponsorship rules. There's been a clamour for some time about the influence betting companies have on the game. It's on the shirts. It's in the adverts in between games. The adverts are even particular to that game that you're watching. It's all a bit crazy. They're on the side. So what has been agreed is that from this 25-26 season, I believe it is
26-27.
This is 26,
26-27. You know, betting companies can no longer be the main shirt sponsor. They can still sponsor
On the match
sleeves.
day. So match day, there won't be any betting companies on the match day shirts, on the front of the shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They can still, however, be on the training gear or the sleeves or the electric hoardings around the stadiums.
So what does that change? If fair enough, it's not on the front, but you can
Nothing.
still see it visibly. On
Nothing.
The
It's
Nothing.
It's an aesthetic thing, and it's coming off the back of the stories where you're now getting like there was that lad who took his life because of gambling debts. So when you've got stories like that piping up that relate
You want to
to
just do something, innit? Do
that relate
something.
to sport, then
It's
you
lip
kind of
service.
have to, you kind of have to be seen to do something.
something.
Well, hold on.
You
lads.
might not necessarily remove the sponsorship because that will be detrimental to some
We
clubs.
have to do something.
Not all,
Talk to the betting
but
companies.
you have to do something.
Okay, that will go, but you can still do that. You can still do the hoarding.
Yeah,
you
but
can
hold
still
on.
do the training.
Let's
Cool.
build this picture here, right? Because you remember, not being on the shirt is not just about match day. People buy those shirts, they wear them every day. That
Yeah, but
main
the shirts-
sponsor logo.
Just won't be the big logo.
No,
It'll be a smaller logo.
Yeah.
on the-
But the
on the-
replica
on the
shirts that are
sleeve.
bought, you can still get those with the shirts with the gambling.
That I'll be no, because if I'm
No,
a
he means
club,
when the band comes in,
When the band comes
they
in,
won't
I'm
be
talking about.
like on
Yeah,
the
so
road.
just
as well.
Even replicas, fan
No, because
bought shirts,
if
they
you're the
won't
club-
have the sponsor.
no, because
I
you're the-
thought match day shirt was just the teams.
No, because it will
on the
have to
match day.
look the same.
yeah, because you've
innit?
paid for it. I'm not putting in a shop where you haven't paid for it.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe
You know,
not.
and you got to link it in. So whoever pays to have the sponsor on the front when, I was gonna say a player from Everton. Let me pick a club. You know, a Liverpool player or a big player's wearing it. That's the shirt that the fans want. So I think it's not as extensive as saying no funding for gambling altogether. There's probably certain reasons why they can't do that as the first step. Like totally kick out full on betting.
Well, they can't
sponsorship.
because like Keith said, look who sponsors the championship. Or not even just the championship,
whole
the football league.
The whole
Football league. No, but I'm talking about the Premier specifically because let's be honest, that's where the money
Yeah,
is.
but
right?
then that's where it becomes farcical because how can you just apply that to the Prem when there are more teams in the English Football League? So essentially more fans of the Football League than there are of the Prem.
Yeah, facts.
The whole of the
Cumulative.
footballing world and community know how much gambling is ingrained in the football world.
It's hand in hand.
Yeah, but
And-
Yeah, but
it's
what's,
been a cultural
what's,
thing for
what's
years.
more televised though? Premier
The
League.
Premier League is the biggest. You got to start there. But okay, let me ask a different question. We're saying it's lip services. What should they have done? What would have been a effective, hard hitting thing?
Remove
That
sponsorship
football-
Remove
altogether.
it. Don't remove it.
Altogether.
Removing it just from the front doesn't
So
do anything.
remove it from all. What? Yeah, but let's
No,
be
so
specific.
I don't think you can remove it from football totally.
They can't.
Why
but you can,
Money
Why
and
not?
finance.
just because of
Finances.
the influence that betting and gambling has on the football
It's a
world.
lot of money you're
Like,
losing.
When you,
Yeah,
you're,
that's the
you're
only
watching,
thing though.
You're
It's
watching
just
Sky
about
Sports.
money.
You're watching Sky
But
Sports.
if you want to do something,
You're watching
do
Sky
it.
Sports.
Yeah.
Half time.
Yeah.
Goes to advert. What actor do you see?
Exactly.
Ray
No,
Winston.
Boom. Everyone knows it.
I know
Ray
that, but yeah, I'm getting to a point
I didn't
here.
even say
So
the company.
We're saying that
Everyone knows.
we're saying that what they've done isn't enough. You're saying that the thing that would have been enough, they can't do.
No, we're not even saying it.
No,
We're not
no,
even
we're not
saying.
saying- that's
We're
what
not even
we're not
saying
saying-
it.
we're not
is-
saying it's
We're just
not
saying
enough.
that's what they've done.
I
Like,
mean,
that's
words like lip service.
no. I'm
basketball.
saying that's
Yeah,
that's what
because
they've
it
done.
is because you can't come out and be like, oh, all right, look, we've seen what's happened.
Yeah.
We've got to be seen to make a stance. You know, like with the kick racism out. Or let's just give everyone badges and kneel down. It's
That's
essentially
exactly
the
what
same.
it
It's
is.
essentially the
exactly
same.
where it is.
All right, we'll remove it off the match
No, what,
days,
John?
off the front of the
That's
shirt.
exactly
what I think
However,
what they
you
could
can
have
still
done
have it there.
is to be
That's
like,
remove
they're
it.
not going to come out and be totally honest, but they could say, you know what? In 10 years' time, we hope there can be a position where there's minimal
Yeah.
betting sponsorship, i.e., only the advertising hoarding around the side of the pitch, etc.
Yeah.
But they've just come out and said, right, we're going to take it off the shirts, but it could be everywhere else.
Literally.
Doesn't really make sense to me.
personally, I think when something is so ingrained in society, right, over generations and generations, what football can do about it is probably limited. I do agree that actually shirt only isn't going to be the step that has a material impact. But I do think major sports censorship, we shouldn't underestimate where these shirts are in circulation, kids are wearing them, they're everywhere. Not having it on there will have an impact. Not a major one, but it will have some.
But it's still on the shirt.
No, I agree. And I think they should have moved it from shirt only.
I think
But
it's a give and take.
Yeah.
But at the same time, one of the, I don't think it was named, one of those executives from a non-toxic top six club said, what people have to understand is we're not a perennial Champions League team. We're not one of the big six. So I have to replace this income somewhere.
Yeah.
People still expect me to buy certain players. They still expect me to do certain things. So we can say for a substantive change to the betting landscape, just removing that isn't great, but they have to balance it with what that was supporting in the game.
Yeah, so that's why I say it's a give and take. All right, cool. We can't just do something that's knee jerk.
Rip the plaster off. Yeah.
Remove everything. Cool. We'll give you 5 seasons to start the removal process. So start removing what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the step 1. Step 1 is removing the sponsorship from the shirt. Now it's on you lot. You've got this is the deadline. You've now got between now and then to find a new sponsor. So there are 3 teams. I think 6 teams in the Prem that have got gambling sponsorships, right? 3 of those teams, their sponsorships are up at the end of the season. So they were going to change anyway.
Yeah.
If they
Or
didn't,
they might
let's
have
just say,
They might have renewed.
yeah. So
Yeah.
all right, so let's just say this didn't come in.
Yep.
It's up for tender,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So the Spolbet or whoever it is
Yeah.
are going to put in their tender process for the sponsorship.
Yep.
Other companies are going to put in.
Yeah.
They might not have even got the renewal. They could have got the renewal, like T said,
Yeah.
right? But now there's just no renewal, full stop.
Yeah,
so
but
now
and
they
to
have
the-
to go and find.
Yeah,
a
and
new
to the point
sponsor.
of the issue, they've probably got more money to put up because more people are gambling, etc., etc.
Yeah, and also to interject,
Mm.
you say it's like hard to make a full stop ban.
I'm
But-
not saying it's hard. I'm just saying I was just challenging the notion that
There
it's
are-
farcical,
there
etc.
are-
Yeah.
It's
So then when I said,
complex.
why can't-
Yeah, it's complex.
But you understand why they can't do a full ban. So I was trying to find what the meaning
But
is. That's all it
I
was.
just could say, I'm not sure if it's across all sport, but in Formula One, they banned all tobacco sponsorship. And if you look back into like the 80s, early 90s, all the F1 cars had
Marlboro,
tobacco
all over.
littered
Yeah,
all
I mean,
over the
France,
cars.
you can't have alcohol on the shirts.
So-
yeah.
And that was like a heavy part of like F1. I'm not sure if it's across all sports. It might be because I don't think you see tobacco being sponsored ships or advertised in football ground. So there is kind of precedent of a ban being in place on certain aspects.
No, I totally agree. I was just trying to, because sometimes in these, when you express an opinion on one end, I'm like, okay, well, if you
Yeah.
understand why they couldn't do the whole opposite end, then what's the middle? So,
Yeah.
you're right. So in France, since 1991, there's a complete ban on alcohol sponsorship of all sporting events, right? They've just banned it. That's why I think you guys had Carlsberg or
Carlsberg.
somewhere. When you
Yeah,
went to the
Carlsberg,
Champions League
yeah.
in France, plain,
Yeah.
didn't have it, etc. I get that. I also think one thing to bear in mind is the wider economic landscape, right?
Yeah.
So, if in this period of time, for the wrong reasons, these are the companies who are thriving largely out of sport, they're the ones bringing the biggest sponsorship deals. We know, we've had it said many times, that's why there's a big report. If you're not one of the big 6, or let's call it probably the big 8,
Yeah.
regular mainstream Prem teams, there's a whole yo-yo effect. People are trying to fortify their revenue. If you remove that too quickly, there's definitely going to be a period of leveling where actually the sponsorship you're going to get from other clubs or other businesses isn't at the level you might.
No, it's
expect.
not.
No.
But yeah, I agree. I think gambling here is Well, we still have countries in the world that gambling is illegal. You got states in America where gambling is actually illegal.
Well, it's starting to spread, but it's to your point. And to your point, I mean, one of the clubs, one of those 6 teams that are essentially losing their gambling sponsorship, I think it was roughly around about 10 million that they're losing out of. So now, they've now got to go and find that 10 million.
You see those clubs that you said are up for renewal at the end of the season?
Yeah.
Are they allowed to, because I think you mentioned this kicks in the 26-27 season?
Yeah.
Are they allowed to renew up until that point?
Yeah.
So
they
at the
can.
end of the season, they can renew.
But
and
they
still have-
How long
so
will you turn up in
essentially,
August 26th?
so essentially, you
I would
know
be
you've got a 3-year period, so we can
Pay me.
renew, but it's only we can't go.
And also,
further than
it's
3
a point of negotiation. If I know you can't get sponsorship from that group of people, I might offer you a percentage there. You ain't got nowhere else to go.
Yeah, it's true.
So don't get me wrong. There's probably a few things financially anyway, a few drugs that Premier League and football needs to wean themselves off. And if you speak to the Football League, they'll probably argue they've got in bed with those businesses because they feel like it's so uneven from the Premier anyway. They had to do whatever they needed to do to get the revenue up. But yeah, the betting thing is pretty crazy. It's all consuming. It's everywhere. On a Saturday, almost every betting company. If you listen to podcasts now, a lot of them are sponsored by betting companies.
Yeah, DraftKings,
all of that.
FanDuel,
So they've been some of the biggest companies recently. But I do think that as a country, that's got to be done across multiple sports. You can't just, because a lot of people have multiple interests.
Yeah, it's got to come from the government level. Like,
Well, yeah. But business influence.
yeah.
I guess this
Bottom
means
line,
we're only
innit?
going to
It's all
see
about the bottom line.
we're only going to see pizza ads at halftime now, rather than pizza ads and betting ads.
No, but this is just on the
It
club.
needs
It
to be
hasn't
on-
reached.
but
it hasn't reached the
has to be
TV.
all of it.
I
Though.
think
If
it's
you're going to
gonna
do one,
progress.
it has to be all of
I
it.
think it's going to progress, and we're going to see things like, there's certain adverts now that can't be shown until after 9 p.m. We're going to start seeing. I think the betting industry is bracing itself. There's going to be squeezing. They've put limits on how much people can bet on the machines and all that kind of stuff. But what they really need to tighten up is the online stuff, the apps and the online stuff. When you read and hear some of these stories,
Yeah, I
the
saw
free
one the
bet-
other day.
the
like,
free bet stuff, here's £50 free bet, etc.
a guy opened up an account online and he got 25 grand credit in 3 days.
What?
Just because they knew his betting history. So they knew he was a chaser. So if he opened up an account and lost, he would try. So they'd be like, oh yeah, here's money. And they gave him 25 grand in credit.
Wow.
So they know what they're doing, man.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
when you gamble online, people, they know your history, man.
And they have some of the best, if not the best, data scientists
Brother.
and insights and all that kind of stuff. They're fantastic at it. And if you go look at some of their business results, go and have a look at what some of the revenue they're making and what some of the executives
the
are.
lady
awarding
that
themselves.
runs a betting company gets paid very, very well.
Very, very well. Very, very well.
Very, very
8
well.
figures a year. Well, 8 figures a year. Do the math. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. All right, let's look ahead. It's a packed week. Sorry. Europe's come around. Let's see Chelsea's name again. So last week we had the Champions League games. City, I was surprised by that. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect them to.
I thought they'd win, not 3-0.
It was comfy. It was a comfy 3-0 as well.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It didn't start off that easy, though. I think
No,
most
but I
countries-
think once
25.
they got into the rhythm of it, like
Yeah.
the first goal, then it's like
And then, of course, Benfica lost to Inter 2-0. Again, I thought that might be a bit more of a tougher game. I'm going to circle back to the Man City Bayern game for obvious reasons. Then we got AC Milan Napoli on the Wednesday. Again,
I think Napoli have gotten comfortable.
well, they didn't have their star players as well. There was no
I guess,
Osimhen.
you know what's mad, yeah.
There was no. They had 3 or 4 top players missing. Yeah,
I still think Napoli will go through,
I agree.
but in the last, I think it's 7 games,
Yeah,
AC Milan have only won against Napoli.
yeah.
So they've either lost or drawn the other games, and they beat Napoli 4-1 in the league,
Mhm.
and they beat them
That's
1-0.
mad.
1-0
In
last week.
terms of-
Crazy
That's
game.
mad. And you
And
still
then
think Napoli's going to go through?
I think so.
Yeah, 100%.
Well,
If-
I need to check who's
As
going to be
long
available.
as long as Osimhen and
yeah,
They drew on the weekend as well.
Convenient.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
they
did.
Yeah. But Osimhen was about. They're taking it day by day with certain players. They've got. I actually think.
I think they didn't play them because they're focusing
Yeah, I agree.
on AC.
I think they're going to take the risk this week.
Yeah.
And of course, Real Madrid 2, Chelsea 0. No one was surprised. I thought it was going
Frank
to be a little
Lampard
bit worse.
I thought it was gonna be more. To be
Yeah.
fair.
Well, Frank Lampard didn't really have surprise.
I don't know how he was surprised.
The thing is, like, you can't come out and say that.
He's Frank Lampard. He can do what he likes.
It's just.
Well, no, who else said it? Who was it? Ollie or was it Potter that said it as well?
What,
So along the
surprised how
same
good
lines.
Madrid
That,
are?
yeah, we didn't realize how good the other team was.
But you know, Potter had
What?
Potter had never even attended a Champions League game before he managed Chelsea.
He said that as well. Says he only watched it on TV. Again, why would you say
But
that?
why are you not surprised though? He's
I'm not
managed.
surprised he said it.
What that he's
Brother,
that you
he's
haven't
never
been to
attended.
He's
I like
never,
you've been
he's
there
never been.
before.
You've been to a Champions League game.
Yeah, but that's not the point. I'm a fan, bro.
No.
He's a manager.
No,
so
he's
he
a
should
manager.
be
Yeah, but he's not managing a team in the
Nah,
Champions
bruh.
League. So why are you expecting to go to a Champions League game? That's my
game?
point.
That he's never watched a Champions League game
no,
live.
been in
No, he's
person
never
to
attended.
Yeah, he hasn't watched it live.
Yeah,
live.
I'm
He
not
hasn't
surprised.
watched it
Right,
live.
he's never watched the Champions League game live.
If you're a manager, you've got to consume everything. In my opinion, you've got.
Are we forgetting the guy's journey? Like he
That's
wasn't
what
even
I'm
in the country for how long? He wasn't even in the country.
But what did he say though?
He's
He's
not
not.
Champions League
Did he say
games
he's
for
not
how long?
attended a game or he's not watched the game?
He's never attended a Champions League
That's
game.
different to
he's
watching a
watching.
game, bro.
Yeah.
No, he's watched the game
That's
on
my point. So
TV.
why are you surprised he's not attended a Champions League game? He's
Because
not-
you're a
I'm
manager.
surprised.
You're a
He's a
professional
Nah, bro.
manager.
Not every manager's attended a Champions League game
Nah,
just because you're a
bruv.
professional manager.
How long has he managed at this level?
At what level?
At the tier 1 level, at the elite level.
He came over in 2000 and
What league did he manage Swansea?
the Premiership.
You're telling me you've never wanted to just go, you know what, I've got a spare week.
Yeah, but that's
I
why
feel-
surprised
few
that-
days.
He's
That's
moving
crazy.
like he don't
I don't think he's
like,
honest.
care
I'm
about
surprised
football and
You
that.
know why I'm more surprised at? That he said that stuff in public.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he should have said that. But again, why have you not watched the Champions League? You can
All
go. You can just be like, oh yeah, I want to go watch that game and get him for free.
Yeah.
All right, let's
I don't
Sorry,
think that's surprising
yeah.
to be fair.
let's
I
get
think
to
that's crazy.
the Man City Bayern and the off the pitch stuff. This Sané, Mané business. We'll never know what Sané said
He
to
must
Mané.
have said something wicked.
It's Ramadan as
Kai,
well.
it was
you know.
Ramadan, you know. Ramadan.
Yeah, bro. Trust me. And I'm not even Muslim. If someone told me
He said
something right
something. He
now,
must have said something
Yeah, but that's
wicked
your
to get
normal
man
day,
off his team.
nah, I mean, man.
So is it a case of Mane's PR has been great over the years and we don't really know the guy,
What
or
No, because
No,
he
we've
he
seen
had
him get a bit.
exactly because
Like with
he
Salah and
wanted
that.
he wanted to punch up. on the sidelines.
And I think he's a little bit lazy. You know what someone said to me in a group? I'll tell you who he's after. You're gonna laugh. Somebody said, "Yeah, you know, he builds hospitals for people back home." I said, "What has
That
that,
doesn't
got
mean
to
anything.
do with his
Has nothing to do
on-field
with it.
temperament?"
I'm trying to
No,
think
it
who-
shows the kind of person.
Trying to
I said,
think who said
Hold
that.
on, I could build a hospital back home and still be an idiot. Relax.
Exactly.
There's a lazy kind of he's mild mannered, he's this
Yeah.
and that, bro. None of you know him. We've seen him
He's got
give
that.
the look a couple
uncle-
times.
that
If
uncle
you, if you
stare.
don't pass next time, you don't cut the ball back. Me and you. So
yeah. But I think his PR is up there, innit? Because everyone's like, oh Mane, I can't believe he's done this.
yeah,
And like you say,
you know
you
the
never
stories
really
that go
know.
around. He owns a cracked iPhone 6 because whatever, man. But at the same time, just from a normal baseline professional level, forget Mane's to slap a younger pro as well, right?
I heard it was a
Actually,
punch,
wait,
yeah?
hold on, because we're going a bit far about the PR and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. Manners, innit?
Yeah, it's true.
What did Sané say to him?
No, but we don't know. That's what my point.
Yeah, you overstep the line, then
Yeah, there's been rumours, isn't there?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. If you said
you
something
step
wicked,
over the line of my moral compass.
Yeah. You can get slapped. No, don't get me wrong. It happens in ball all the time. We just don't see the man with a fat lip trading the next day.
Where
But
you
I
got
just-
boxed.
I
Aye,
just-
he
Old
must have
son,
caught
innit?
it.
No, he must have caught us.
Everyone
People
was-
have been punched up and come to school next day. You know, they just have to hold that.
And the fact he got banned as well, like, you know it was serious, innit?
No, but he only got banned for one game. I don't think
Yeah.
it was that serious.
Yeah,
man.
but you don't really hear of players getting banned for like internal fights and stuff that
And
often.
then-
So,
No, but I
but
think
what I would say is everything was public very quickly. So I know people are saying that Mane is not in favour. I think this might be a kind of
Well, we're
Way of
seeing
pushing him
elbow.
out of the
we're
door.
seeing
Yeah.
reports
They said
that.
that, yeah, today.
But I wait for Raphael Honigstein. He's the plug in Germany. He'll tell
Yeah.
us what going on. But do you think that that is being blown out of proportion because it's money? Because again,
Yeah.
we hear about bust ups, etc. But
I don't
again,
think it
to
has
be-
been blown out of context.
You don't think so?
Because it's
Nah,
money.
he
Why?
punched
Explain it.
him.
Because
They showed
everyone's-
his fat
he's
lip.
mild-mannered, he's this,
I haven't even
that.
seen a madness. I've just heard that he had to apologize to the team. The
Yeah.
only thing is what you lot sent in today that they cutting ties with him. End of the
Yeah.
season, he's gone. That was the major thing that I saw.
But I think he's
Everything
fucked
else
up
was
again when
calm.
I should laugh.
the
When
picture.
Sade is warming up and his lips just like this.
Yeah.
Like,
It's always going to blow up this big. He's at a big
Yeah.
club
And
and he's money, innit?
And people
Just
talk
punch
about this
someone.
bust-ups all the time. I don't actually think people put hands on each other as often as we like to. I think people have arguments and they square up.
I've
But I
heard
don't
a
think
couple
in the-
though,
yeah,
training
physically-
grounds.
physically.
I don't think
Training
people are
grounds.
landing hands like that, man.
Nah, they're-
Have
But even
you
so,
s-
but if it did, like I say, this came out within like 12 hours.
Yeah, but it happened
think
in
it
the
might have
middle of a
been-
game. That's why not on
Yeah.
the training ground.
And also, I don't
It's
know.
in the tunnel,
listen,
innit?
if
Was
you
it half time or
played,
something?
Or in the dressing room.
if you've played high level ball where everyone is in the zone, even at training,
Facts.
it can get
Facts.
peak.
Spicy.
No,
Real
it
It
quick.
can get
spicy.
spicy.
But I'm talking
quickly.
about throwing hands regular.
Bruv, I remember the video. Have you not seen the video of Lacazette? Gripping up
With
Cedric.
Yeah.
Gripping a man up
No,
and
but-
looking him in his eye and like,
But that's a
don't
perfect
play
example.
games, bro.
But that's a perfect example. He's grips it because he's like, you know what? If
No,
I
because
wasn't
it's
at
just
work-
one more word. One more word. I feel like it was
Yeah.
one more.
Yeah.
He might have been saying too much.
Mm.
He gripped him and pulled him close, bro, and said, relax.
No
or something.
respect, you know, because I know he's not doing that to certain other man in that
Cool.
team.
Nah, don't
If I
think
was
so.
said to this guy, I'd be like, if only you could hit the target like this. Anyway,
To be fair though, what was allegedly said to Mane,
Apparently he called him-
I'm doing probably the same.
We listen. Their reports. We'll never know what he called him. There's a phrase that's been bandied about that is obviously
Mane's skin tone.
that is obviously quite
That's a lot, man.
And
Sorry.
it's a double thing because one, because it was said, and two, who was said by, right? Because
Yeah.
Sané's,
He's a
Sané
lighter
as well.
skinned brother.
Yeah, exactly. So people are talking colorism, etc. But let's see. It could be coincidence. I think it's unlikely because the question I asked you guys when that came in the group was, is this a thing where Tuchel doesn't feel like Mane is a two-shot player for his system? Or actually, is it a thing of, this has caused too much madness, you got to go?
Mane's a dope player.
I think
bro.
he is, yeah. So I think, and
Whatever
that's why I said,
system.
if he's leaving because of that, then it has definitely been blown out of proportion, in my mind. You just bought him and he's on big wages.
Yeah, but he's not been scoring like how they
Yeah,
wanted
he ain't
him
been
to.
But he's been injured for some time. He's only going back recently.
No, since the start of the season, he
But
hasn't.
Bayern are one of
he
them
hasn't
clubs.
been-
I feel like they're one of them clubs that if you're not working
Quickly,
you
yeah.
can go.
They brought him in. They pushed him through the middle. He's not banged the way they wanted him to, or the way they would have hoped he would. They even tried to push him back out wide. It still hasn't worked. Then he got injured.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised he hasn't flourished as much as I expected. To
It's
be
a
honest.
completely different system.
But everyone's like, oh, Bundesliga tax in it. Like, he done well in the Prem, you'll go there and score. Yeah.
high line. He'll just abuse that.
Yeah.
But it's just not worked out like that.
Yeah.
It's just, and I think to be fair though, that's partially maybe on him, but a lot of it is on Bayern. They're going through a slump
But Mane's only played.
in by their standards.
Mane's only-
They're going through a slump by their own standards
Yeah.
where
Yes.
they're not firing how we expect them to. Neuer's been injured. They brought in Jan Sommer. He's been
Up and down.
up and down. Sula went back to Dortmund, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Defensively, Upamecano.
He's got a mistake in him,
He
man.
has
They got what's his name as well, innit?
He's got a
bloody
boat-
hell.
Dutch guy. Didn't they spend
De
a
Ligt.
minute? Yeah, in
De
the
Ligt.
summer,
Yeah, he's been doing well.
So they've just not been the same Bayern that we're used to. And I think Mane's coming in at a time where they're not firing, he's not firing. So it kind of
looks
feels
iffy,
like a
innit?
scapegoat thing.
Yeah, but Mane's only played 15 Bundesliga games this season.
How many did he score?
Bruv, that's
They scored 6
Nagelsmann.
goals.
That is Nagelsmann.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
Nagelsmann.
that's not. I don't think that's.
So
that's
he's
dire.
not firing. He's
That's
not
dire.
firing. He's not
played-
firing.
And 5 of those games, he was a sub. So he started
That's what
10
I'm saying,
games
yeah. He's been sub a lot.
and scored 6 goals and
That's
got 4 assists.
Nagelsmann. When I watched
But they
him,
still-
he
they
come off
still
at
want-
half
they
But
time.
this is
They're
Bayern.
winning.
It's not like he's coming to a team where it's not like he's coming to Dortmund and they're struggling. No, tell her. It's not like he's coming to Leipzig, Red Bull Leipzig,
Yeah.
and then he's having to. They're not the team that we expect to see at the top. Of
And
the
look,
league.
look who he's
saying-
trying to
coming
replace
to
him as well.
He's coming to Bayern, who dominate that league.
So we're saying that 10 goal involvements in 15 games is not good enough.
That's good enough.
No, it is.
I don't
It is.
understand.
Based
No,
on
But I feel
Mane.
like
No, it is
good enough.
Bayern
It's
are like,
But for
I like
Bayern
the
and Mane, you'd expect more in it. Like,
So in 15
It's
games,
hard not
5
to-
of those as a sub. What would you expect? What's good enough?
what, in 15,
15 games, 10
Yeah.
starts.
and you got 10 goal in, babe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I don't understand.
No, so I didn't hear
Nah,
this
I'm
stat properly.
expecting 15 or
That's
more.
fine.
So you're expecting a goal or assist every game?
At Bayern, playing through the middle as the top
I think
striker.
that's what they expect.
I make that.
You
Thank you.
can.
I feel like they're like
And
the
these are
Real
not
Madrid. They're like
consecutive
Real
games.
Madrid.
These are not consecutive games. This is
Where
an
you don't
injury-ravaged
have
season.
time. There is no time.
Nah, I
You
think-
need to
I think-
bang.
I think
Like
you guys
that's
are being
it.
harsh.
No,
think you guys
I
are
feel
being
No,
like
but
harsh.
remember, you got to look who
I
he's
think-
replacing. Like he's replacing Robert, innit? Like
All right, so let's look.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's
This
look.
is what I'm
What
saying.
was
he
but-
doing?
Well, hold on. Let's look at this. Right,
40.
he's played 6 Champions League games, started 4. He's got 3 goals and 1 assist. So in
What's that?
6 games, he's got 4 goal involvements, 3 goals, 1 assist.
I
Right?
think it's Nagelsmann.
So I don't understand.
I think it's
Which is what I'm saying. The
Nagelsmann.
team, he's coming to a team that's not firing.
But Nagelsmann is a tinker. He's a tinker man kind
Like,
of manager. He
for a
changes
player,
things
I know
all the
that's not
time.
bad, but like you say, you got to look at Bayern and Mané, what they done last season. They want you to take them to a higher level, innit?
Bro, the guy has played 15 league games. I don't understand what higher level he could have done. I don't understand if he's played.
Lewandowski.
He hasn't played. He's been injured. He hasn't played.
Lewandowski.
Yeah, but what you
But
comparing?
they want those numbers.
But that's who
Yeah,
he's
but if
coming
he
to
hadn't
replace.
played, I would understand. If he's not on the pitch, he can't give you numbers.
It's true.
But that's what I've said.
Yeah, but
It's
okay,
the manager.
but how many?
It's the manager.
You might not have it
It
there,
wasn't that he
but,
wasn't playing money. He was injured. He was
but you
injured.
might not have
fair
it there. But it's like, how many games had he scored in? Like, had he scored like a hat trick, 2, etc.? Like, it always up in it. Like, I hear what you're saying, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's harsh, man. That's,
What was the
that's
goals
crazy.
and the assists?
For what?
What was it? 10 what? 'Cause
So he scored in 15 league games. He scored 6 goals and 4 assists. In 6 Champions League games, he scored 3 goals and 1 assist. And in 1 cup game, it's 1 appearance, 1 goal.
When you look at it in its entirety, his career at Bayern hasn't been successful. So.
No, it hasn't been successful overall, but I guess the point I'm making is like we said earlier, we got to judge someone fairly on the facts. If he hasn't played, for when he's played, he's produced. That's what these numbers say. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And then when you said it's not good enough, that's fine. But tell me what is good enough. Isaac's expecting
Lewandowski.
15
I'm
goal,
not
15 goal
expecting-
involvements.
I'm
in
just
15.
saying you have to look at it like from Bayern, from the senior boardroom, how they're looking at it.
But we don't know how they've not told us.
Come on,
Bro, we're offloading Lewandowski.
You're being a bit
Where-
diplomatic here.
where-
It's like,
where-
okay.
we're offloading.
a little
They're not
bit.
my numbers.
We're offloading
They're the numbers.
Lewandowski. We're bringing in Mane.
Come on,
What
I'm
do we
paying
want?
him big wages.
What do we want? The same minute.
Firstly, you want him to
The
play.
same output though.
Firstly, you want him to play.
No, but the same output.
You can't ask for the same.
But
output,
why
man.
did- why not? No, they can do. No, they can do.
What from
But
Mane and
Lewandowski
Lewandowski?
didn't
100%.
leave because of output. He left because of personal differences.
No, but I'm saying who
For
they
sure.
replaced him with.
Yeah.
Mane to
We
do what?
brought you in.
To bang goals.
To come in, exactly. To come in,
Yeah, and when he's played, he's banged goals. That's my point. If you're saying, his injury ravaged season, he hasn't played enough,
He's got
I'll
a
have
point.
that. That's fine.
He's got a
But when
point.
he's played, he has
He's
produced.
got a point.
but
He's got 1 and 2
but
essentially.
If
Yeah.
the rumors,
If you discount the
okay,
subs.
but if the rumors are true, that's not satisfactory. They want more.
Obviously, it's not satisfactory, which is why he's not.
But there was
that's
no
the point
rumors
we're
of
trying
him
to
leaving
say.
before
So
this incident.
but that's the point we're trying to say.
Hold on,
So,
hold on.
But there were no rumors of him leaving before this incident, though.
no, but there was rumors that they were
Yeah,
weren't happy with this.
they was a bit frustrated.
Well, that's
Even
why
before
That's what
Nagelsmann
I'm
got
saying.
sacked.
There have been rumors. This is not just because of the punch.
That's why
They
he hasn't
were
been
rumours
started the last
beforehand.
few
Okay,
years,
wait,
right?
no. Because his stats on this says he's played 32 games this season and scored 11 and assisted 5.
I was very specific with the league and the cup.
No.
the Champions
Well,
League.
we can do.
We haven't done
We can
totality,
just do
no?
total. Yeah, because he's breaking it up. He's trying to do break up.
Manipulation.
You're trying to do break up. You're trying to do break up. You're trying to do break up.
Top level analyst.
We're not
Wow.
doing
And
that.
Champions League is not 6 games, it's 8 games and 3 goals.
Ooh.
We're not doing that.
I'm telling you, look, it's here, bruv.
That's the same website that told me Patrick Vieira didn't make any signings.
That website is my website
I'm
for
using,
stats.
I'm
That's
using
stats.
Isaac's sanctioned site. Who scored? That's
That's
what I'm
stats,
using. Go
bro.
on.
Okay.
Oh.
So this is wrong.
You gave back that phone
So this is
quickly, boy.
wrong.
Yeah.
You gave back that
So this
phone
is wrong.
quickly.
Hold on.
No, we don't have time. We don't have time. So, we don't
I'm
have
not,
time.
this is
Don't
my
worry.
personal.
We don't have time.
This is right. That's
Anyway,
all I'm saying.
Listen.
20 games and 6 goals ain't good enough.
It's not. And
I got 20 and 6 over here.
Thank you.
20
There were-
and 6.
That's in the Bundesliga.
there was frustration beforehand. This incident happened, and it feels like Tuchel's just gone, oh, yeah, all right,
Well.
just use it. Let's get him out.
I beg, come to Arsenal.
I was about to say the same thing, bro.
Yeah.
Just
We'll
come
take
to
it.
Arsenal.
Yeah,
Done-
we'll
Take
done
him
and
back home,
dusted.
bruv.
No.
He's
Take
back
home.
home.
Take
He's not.
That ship has sailed, bro.
He's not. All right, moving on to Europa League for last week quickly. Manchester United, Sevilla, 2-2 draw at home.
I'm coming. We're coming for them, Sevilla. My brothers.
Man, turn into Sevilla fan real quick. I mean, they've got to go away. There's no more away goals rule in Europa. So I expect them to take that over. Sevilla haven't been very good. That losing that 2-0.
But they got Europa League heritage, innit? Even though Emery's not there.
Emery's going to give them a call and just tell them, listen.
Good evening.
Yeah.
I expect Man United to deal with that. Juventus 1-0 Sporting, scraped that through. Feyenoord 1, Roma 0. The great cup manager Mourinho. But he's going to be at home second leg.
He'll do what he needs to do.
The bus will be parked.
Yeah. He'll do what he needs to do.
Barlow will do his thing. And then obviously conference, West Ham drew again. Fiorentina, probably the favourites. Nice held a draw. Anderlecht in there. I heard someone say Fiorentina or West Ham are the favourites. I don't know about that.
West Ham must be
West
the
Ham,
favourites.
yeah,
I'll say West
Must
Ham
be.
would
I'd
be.
say West Ham at least reaching the
I don't
final.
even know if they'd beat Nice right now, to be honest.
Mm.
They've been playing well recently. I don't even know if they'd beat Nice, man. I don't even know. But that would be
Got
really
enough.
interesting.
I think they've got
If
enough.
they escape relegation and get to the final of Europa Conference, you could argue that he salvaged the season. Salvaged.
Yeah.
Not good enough for the spend that he spent, but that might be a little silver lining at the end.
But if you win Europa Conference, you go into Europa next year, don't you?
Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah, it's not bad.
it's
Decent.
Not bad. Not bad. All right. Wrexham watch. Took another twist.
Mate,
The documentary is going to be sick next season. Though.
I can't wait for it.
Proper sick.
That game, I know you guys touched on it last week, but that game was just fantastic.
Yeah.
And then
And then the Ben Foster content.
what did
Did
we
you
talk
watch
about?
it?
Yeah.
Did you watch his thing?
Yeah.
About the penalty?
Yeah,
I watched it.
I was, of
But
course
this
I
is
was.
why it worked. We've all watched it.
Yeah,
You know?
you see the views on that. It was at like 3 million
Yeah,
within
it's
like
mad.
24
It's mad.
Yeah.
Listen, forget any marketing course you've been on. Just study what these lot have done with Wrexham.
He's talking about his GoPro as well.
Yeah, exactly.
He's aiming for
You
it.
know, GoPro cash out to himself quickly.
Yeah, so I think this week, well, the week just gone, it was. I watched that game, and to be honest, Barnet have been in a bit of form where they've been nicking wins and getting good results, and they're also pushing for playoffs as well. So they're coming to the end of the season where they need to be on the upward trajectory.
Yeah.
So at home, Wrexham, it was always going to be a tough game.
Okay.
Yeah, you
know.
said that. Yeah.
And then what kind of just threw it out the window for Wrexham was that red card. Now, what happened was the keeper's got the ball, he's dropped down, the defender, defender or midfielder, he's left his trailing leg in there. It's not a red card. It's like, if I walk past you and I just leave my arm out like that, and then it's not a red card, but obviously you know what the keeper's going to do.
Yeah,
You know?
gonna play up.
The referee's just gone, oh,
Protect his
Yeah,
species.
and they've
he
got-
didn't even look. He didn't even talk to nothing. He just went
Yeah,
straight.
they've got no reviews as well, so
Yeah.
they just have to deal with it.
No
It's
VAR.
So- and then in the Notts County game, they just did what they had to do. They're at home. Don't
To
care
be
if you're
fair,
a
the first
playoff
half
team.
was a bit of a struggle. Like they were on top, but like they hadn't scored yet.
But
They
again,
kept
it's
up,
another
but-
playoff
yeah.
team.
And what's
It's
mad
another
is,
playoff team. So
if it's not for all of this, man, I'm watching the National League. You know what I mean? We're
It's
watching
National
it
League,
and all that. But
yeah.
I guess it's still on plan because after that game, after the Notts County game, they said, well, they need 7 points. So winning
And the next game, their next 4 games are all winnable.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So still not bad, but it just adds a bit more spice to it. So Wrexham has still got a game in hand. 104 points, Notts County 103 points. So yeah, to be honest, I'm more comfortable watching that than the Premier League at the moment. So anyway, look into this week now. We've got the reverse Chelsea at home to Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
To Real Madrid. Napoli at home to AC Milan. I think they would have, even if Osimhen is a risk, they're gonna roll him out. I think they're gonna go for the jugular and deal with AC. But they've got the advantage. Let's see how they play that. Inter at home to Benfica. They're taking away an away lead to home. I expect that to, even though they lost on the weekend, they're so inconsistent at the moment. And the same Lukaku can't hit a barn door stories are rolling through, so they can carry that through. And then Bayern at home, City.
Come on, Bayern.
Too big a job.
No, we need Man City staying that, bro.
Too big a job.
Nah, man.
First of
I
all,
want
stay
him
in
to-
it, but I want Pep to win the Champions League because then he might leave.
Yeah, I agree.
I want a 3-3, man. Take
Nah,
the extra
he's
time.
not leaving. Yeah.
You know what I
He
mean?
signed, he's just signed a new contract.
Oh yeah, he's had a big
He ain't
contract.
leaving. Yeah.
And then we've got the reverse of the fixtures we talked about. Roma at home, I expect them to go through. Juventus away to Sporting is only a 1-0 lead, and Juventus are not having the best of seasons. And then we've got Manchester United away to Sevilla. For banter, that come on Sevilla, man. Your heritage. Your heritage. Do the thing.
Come on.
Sorry, Alf. And then, Fiorentina at home, West Ham at home. Expect them to both go through. And then we're back in the Prem. Friday, Arsenal got a chance to redeem themselves at home to Southampton.
Right back at it.
Let's just sorry, Southampton, but it's not
Send them down.
Yeah. I think this might be the game that relegates you. Saturday, early game, Fulham Leeds. Not looking good for Leeds.
Yeah,
Not
Fulham.
looking good for Leeds. I expect Fulham to deal with that. Another highlight, Liverpool Forest.
Oh, yeah, it's been done before.
I won ye.
They beat us already
What's
this
his
season,
name?
innit?
I won ye.
You never know, man.
It's at Anfield though, so
They're not doing a double over Liverpool.
it's at Anfield, so it's
They're
not.
not doing a double over Liverpool.
Ben
Famous last
Johnson.
words.
Brentford, Villa. So Villa away to Brentford.
That should be a good game on paper.
I think that would be a very good game.
Yeah.
Palace at home to Everton. I think the Roy factor will
Palace.
continue. And obviously we've got 2 games postponed because of the semi-final. So Man United and Chelsea's not on this weekend, and Brighton City's not on this weekend. And then we've got Bournemouth, West Ham. Bournemouth at home, West Ham away.
Come on, Bournemouth.
Come on, Bournemouth.
Yeah, just for the spice in the film.
Yeah.
Bournemouth win, that'd be good.
But if Bournemouth get 1-1 win, they must be safe. Surely.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think they'll be safe.
I need
innit?
to get the calculator.
But we keep saying that, but like most teams have got like 7 or 8 games left, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of
It's
points,
true.
you know?
It's a lot of
It is.
games.
That's a lot of games
But
and
they got
points to play
momentum right now,
for.
though, man. Bournemouth are in the
Yeah, but we've just said how many. We've just gone through the list. We've said Southampton are going to lose. We've said Leeds are going to lose. We've said Forest are
Yeah,
going to
what
lose.
we say is going to
So if
happen.
Bournemouth win.
What actually
I didn't
happens
say
doesn't
for. I didn't say Forest was gonna lose.
Oh, well, okay, fine.
All right,
It looks
mate.
unlikely.
All right.
Yeah. Looks unlikely. So every week that happens and
Yeah.
Bournemouth are winning. You know,
But it's still, it's unpredictable.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's
Like,
unpredictable. And then Newcastle, Tottenham, Newcastle at home to Spurs. So
What are the FA Cup games? Sorry.
that's a very good question.
Man City, Brighton.
Man City, Brighton.
And Man United v.
Man City, no, sorry, Man City.
Man
Oh, no,
United,
Sheffield
Brighton.
Sheffield United, yeah.
Man City, Sheffield
yeah.
United, Man United, Brighton. Man United,
Yeah,
Brighton? Yeah.
Yeah.
So to be fair, that Man City Brighton game could be a little test run for the league game, innit? Because I think they're both going to put their first teams out.
Like that, man.
So they should put their first team. That's a semi-final, isn't it?
They're not gonna work like that. And I would rather Brighton lost that game and beat them in the league. I'll be honest. That's what I want.
Yeah, if you had to pick one, of course. But
Yeah, that's what I want.
Or City win both.
No, but you've got the games on the ground. So it's City, Sheffield United, and Brighton, Manchester United.
Oh, is it?
That's what I said.
Yeah, so it's Man City at home on Saturday, Brighton at home on Sunday.
You would have preferred it the other way round for Arsenal fans, isn't it?
No,
Yeah,
not
they're
really.
gonna rest. He's
Yeah.
gonna rest his players.
They
bro.
can roll over Sheffield United with
easily.
like.
And it's Wednesday.
I want City in as many competitions for as long as possible.
Nah, he's gonna play like Alvarez,
Yeah, he's gonna just play. They got a team, man. It's
so
not like
Nico
us.
Lewis, and them man.
All right, well, thanks for listening. As I said, don't forget to subscribe, follow. We'll be back next week with hopefully a little bit more of a drama-free pod for Arsenal fans and something to talk about for everyone else. Speak to you next week.
Peace.
Peace.
That's one, man.